What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 343. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I am joined by Emilio Lopez,
Sup, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
I have my answer. It's Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, 34%.
There you go. There you go. That was not a good movie. Brett Murdoch.
I don't even know what the question was.
And Brian Manjoma.
Fun fact, I've never seen Space Jam.
Oh, man, you probably don't worry about that movie. Even the first one was not that good. So,
That's actually one of those facts that is fun.
that is a very fun fact, yeah.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah, but
It's fun until you realize that Brian's British. they couldn't care less about
yeah.
basketball.
Hey,
Over there.
Brian, you caught that, right?
Yeah,
What do you guys call basketball over there?
Yeah, what do you call it? Oh, really? You don't have enough?
And the ball.
Hey, Brian, did you catch when I offended some of your English brethren the other day?
Uh-oh.
No. What did you say?
Because I think it was it England versus some fucking other country, and England lost. There was fucking riots and shit. You know about that, right? So so I'm like, okay, all I understand that's going on today is English. It was Italy. It was English, Italy, and soccer. And I said soccer on purpose.
Uh-oh.
I said that shit on purpose, and these fucking English, it's football, it's football. And I'm like, no, we have football already. You guys are calling it wrong. I'm agitating them and shit. But here's the thing. If one of those guys at least said football, F-U-T, I would be like, yeah, you're right. That's what it's called. But no, football is, the one with the armor. That's football, Like, oh, you fucking Americans always think you're right. I'm like, yeah, that's right. We are, man. Agitating these motherfuckers.
Oh, you Americans.
Like, it's football. It's.
Oh, God, that is a horrible accent.
Yeah, but that's the point of it. Oi. Well, I'm not trying to do an accurate one, That's what these guys sound like to me in my head, Oh, go and kick ass, I will. Like, all right, bro.
They literally all sound like Dick Van Dyke from
Yeah.
Mary Poppins.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, it's Mary Poppins, it is.
Oh, it's a bit of football, is. Anyway, we got some questions. What you drinking over there?
I'm drinking some Dr. Pepper.
Oh, you don't have the Mexican Coke?
No, Mexican Coke. But Dr. Pepper is actually the oldest soft drink.
Ah, look at that.
The oldest soda.
Originally given out by doctors, I'm assuming, to promote health.
Pharmacists.
Oh, shit.
It used to, it was in, Dr. Pepper was actually invented by a pharmacist.
And peppers.
Back in the old days, pharmacists used to flavor medicines. So they used to have all kinds of different flavors, like cherry and all kinds of stuff. So the guy who invented it was like, all right, I'm going to try to figure out what a combination of these different flavors will make a really interesting tasting drink. And that's what he did.
Pretty cool stuff.
The history of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Dr. Pepper kind of tastes like medicine.
It's a little bit of everything. It's like cherry. It's got peppermint. It's got all kinds of funky stuff.
It's mostly prune, actually.
Really?
Not so fun fact.
Oh, that is not a fun fact. Actually, vamp a little bit. I got to fix something in here.
I'm a huge fan of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, vamp a little bit.
Dr. Pepper's a good one. I forgot where it was created, but yeah, it's also, I think, one of the last independent companies of drinks because they're all sort of gobbled up by either Pepsi or Coke.
Yeah. Or whatever their parent companies are.
I wouldn't be surprised if the story's like, oh yeah, some American guy invented it so they can give it to troops in World War II or something like that. Like just seems like one of those things.
Fun fact: a lot of sodas were actually created by pharmacists. RC Cola is also another very old brand, and that was also created by a pharmacist as well.
Brett, were you gonna say?
They used to be cocaine.
Yeah, that's right. They used to be the good stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Everything.
I think you can find ads for Dr. Pepper that says without cocaine or something like that.
The original soft drink.
Like, without cocaine.
Those drinks used to have cocaine, and McDonald's fries used to be made in lard.
Yeah,
how things change.
They literally would use the runoff of the burgers to essentially. That's why the fries tasted so fucking good.
Yeah, that's right.
And the cocaine would burn off the extra fat from the fries. See.
Have yourself a McDonald's hamburger with some cocaine in it.
All right, that's
Bring a
awesome.
little pep in your step.
Bang! All right, man. So for obvious reasons, Steam Deck gonna compromise a good chunk of tonight's questions.
Yo, man, is it compromised?
Yeah. So
That
let's.
Steam Deck?
Yeah, it might be. Oh, we'll talk about Adam in a bit. By the way, Adam will show up later. He's
Oh.
watching WWE something.
I mean,
Yeah,
I want to say, oh yeah, it's SummerSlam, but now they have like 10,000.
Yeah, they have so many of them.
Events, yeah.
I think
He's either-
this might be tables, ladders, and chairs. 'Cause I saw a guy jumping off of some ladder and then being caught by a bunch of the wrestlers. What the fuck is up with that these days? They always look like the wrestlers always like they jump off, and then all the wrestlers look like they gather together like a bunch of quail and just catch the other wrestler now. What's up with that?
I don't know. You could ask Adam. But
Oh,
anyway,
the ECW days are over, man.
yeah, exactly.
right?
Throwing dudes on fucking glass and shit.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Mob hits with the first question of the night. Right. Does Steam Deck have longevity? What kind of support from Valve or otherwise does it need to have a long shelf life? And I'm also going to throw in Mecha's question in here because it's related. Since Steam Deck is just another avenue to play PC games, how do you think they will keep its visibility up? We constantly get reminded of the value of the console when a new console drops, but Steam Deck doesn't have any exclusives as far as we know. So will it fade into the background while the consoles continue to gain buzz? And to be clear, this is beyond the hardcore gamers and early adopters. So I think we combine those two. They're kind of similar. So what can Steam Deck do to ensure its success over the long term? Manny, I see you over there.
Well, I mean, it's a very interesting question because it feels like
Somebody's watching me.
fun song, but it feels like that they don't need to be all about those exclusive things. It's almost like the same sort of world as the Xbox lives in, except the library is vastly more huge than the other one,
Yeah.
than any of the other two. Like even to an extent that you can, well, obviously now you're even seeing that you can play Xbox and PlayStation games on there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's probably the only thing that you can't play on there is Nintendo games, and I'm sure some people know how to do some special.
I've seen some stuff. So yeah, for sure. Brett, get in here, man.
Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Okay, so like what kind of, what does it need for longevity? What kind of
Yeah.
support?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of said this the other day when we kind of talked about the first bit. Like, I don't really know that it needs support. I agree with Manny. Like, this thing is designed to automatically sync in with your Steam library or your PC library. You can install Windows on this thing. So, it doesn't have to be as forward looking because it can be more backward looking. I know that doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but this is supported through all PC gaming from the fucking beginning of time. Anything you can do on a PC, you can already do on this. Not only that, but it's essentially an already hacked machine. How interested are people still in the fucking Vita? People still talk about that shit because you could jailbreak it. This thing is, you don't need to. So I think that this thing will have support and hype as long as there's a place for the hardware, which is, essentially until it goes obsolete. Even a little bit beyond that, maybe because it allows you to stream it. This may not be the new console, but I think this will be a thing like, fuck, I think this will be a thing in 10 years when we talk about it, we're like, oh, dude, you remember the Steam Deck? That thing was dope. So go ahead.
No, I agree because it has pretty much every single PC game in existence, including a shitload of legacy, and that's just on Steam alone.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything that continues to come out that they want to continue supporting. So anything that can have low-end graphics, which let's be fucking honest, PC gaming has taken a step back. CPUs and GPUs, their prices have gone fucking through the roof. What you could buy a year ago for $1,000 is now $1,500. We are not seeing companies really pushing for card-crushing games right now in the midst of a rare earth mineral shortage that nobody can afford to upgrade their PCs. So there's a lot of people who, PC gaming 5 years ago, for those of you who are playing and PC gaming now, they're very different. It almost feels like now we have a shortage of parts. Things are rare. It depends on what you can cobble together. It's not just I'm gonna go out and buy the most fucking badass chipset for $1,000. You can't even get that shit sometimes now. So, nope, lost my train of thought. There it went. Yeah, man, I fucking hate that shit right in the middle of it. But yeah, so basically, this thing is a portion of or a group of PC parts that are cheaper than you can afford on the part picker right now. Even if you just bought all the pieces individually at a discount, you're still gonna pay more for the same equivalent of hardware. Also, the other thing that I want to point out before I toss it off is this thing is not just about what's driving it. It's also about the equipment itself. It seems incredibly ergonomic. It's got 2 touchpads on the front. It's got buttons on the back. It's got fucking joysticks that know when you're touching it. They've built this thing out of high quality premium parts. So it's not just, what's driving it inside. It's also the mechanical, the mechanical points, the advantages. There we go. The mechanical advantages. The triggers, the way the screen works, how it sits. It's not just like a card where 5 years old I'm just gonna upgrade it and toss it. It's got all these other bits too. So it's an amalgamation of these parts, which I personally see myself using for years, regardless of whether it's. I mean, Steam doesn't even have to support this thing. I can just throw fucking Windows on it and it's supported. It's done. Boom, there we go. We're off to the races. So I think there's a lot of people like me who kind of feel that way, and I think that's what's driving a lot of this is. Finally, you don't have to worry about if they're going to support. You don't have to worry about if there are going to be games for it or anything like this. We don't get news like this often in the gaming world. We can just be like, oh, so it's pretty much a guaranteed grand slam as far as I'm concerned. And I think a lot of other people feel the same, which is why the internet is fucking on fire about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Jen Aldridge for subscribing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jen. A friend of mine from back in the day. Manny actually knows her too. Jennifer, one of my sister's friends. So shout out to her. She's doing her thing on Twitch as well, a YouTuber. So shout out to her. What am I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'll jump in. It definitely has longevity as long as Valve supports it. First of all, again, we've talked about this. Like Valve has not given support to the Steam machines, to the Steam controller, or Steam Link, I believe, right? But this thing is actually.
What do you mean not giving support?
Like,
hold on, because they're still supporting. They're still giving updates to those to this day.
Well, like. I don't know, like they just didn't really support. Like they're not throwing it in your face like they should. Like I understand they do updates. That's fantastic. I actually didn't know that, so thank you for telling me that. But like it just seemed like they throw them out there.
I don't know if they manufacture them anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they just kind of just threw them out there and they just kind of withered on the vine. But ironically, this thing is all 3 of those in one, and I think that's probably the key to it. It's not just one thing that does one thing. It's like 3 things that does portable gaming, and we have a question about that later on. So yeah, I think. And here's that's I think this is very important, and I want to know if you guys disagree with me. I don't think this console is made for the mainstream audience. I think it's made for the hardcore guys, but there are plenty of hardcore guys out there. So I think if it does well among those guys, it'll do well in the long run. But it's not like a mom and pop type of console.
What makes you say that?
Because I feel like I don't know about that. I think that. Obviously, it would be a little bit of a harder sell to the general audience. But it is. It in general, I think once it starts to gain some traction, because it is probably the easiest way to get into PC gaming that you could ever think of.
Oh, for sure.
And cheapest. All you need to do is just open the store.
Yeah, but you said it right there. Easiest way to get into PC gaming, because again, I'm trying to think of it like a mom and pop type of deal, right? You go into a store and you want to buy a Steam Deck. Where's the Steam game section? Like that doesn't exist. It's all online. So there's nothing.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
I would argue that you have a chance of getting Steam Deck in big box retailers. You're not getting gaming PCs in those things, and even if it's
And I'm talking about individual games. I'm talking about individual games. I'm talking about somebody goes to Best Buy. There's Steam Decks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they
Steam
may
Decks
have
right
Steam
there.
Decks and games. They may have Steam Decks in there, right next to these Steam gift cards, right next to when they sell these things in boxes too, man, they just sell you a box with a Steam code in it. That's all it fucking is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like what you can do is like, okay, yeah, if you say, "Oh, hey, where's the games?" You can literally do one of these things. So just literally like it's, and Microsoft has been doing this themselves, where they literally have, if you want to if you want the games, they literally have a card that you can buy at the store. I've seen it at like, a bunch of places. You buy the card at the store, you scrape off the end, and then you just do it that way.
Yeah.
If you really want to if you want to make it physically have a physical presence besides just a no context console system.
Yeah, because that's what I'm really asking about. Like, obviously the system is physical, but I was like, what about the games? Because the mainstream, they're not really that savvy. So how do you get that? But yeah, you're right with those cards or whatever. That's actually a good way of doing it.
Yeah, you can literally just have like a bunch of you just take some of the more popular games and just have physical cards built, and then once you have a person inserted into the store, right, you do your little login, it probably tells you how to get your different little games on there. Now that they're in the store, now they can actually start looking through there, but you have to have that gateway thing, right, which would probably just be like, hey, you got your card.
Yeah. That's the only thing I was wondering, like, how is this going to translate over to the mainstream crowd? Because, there's a little bit more steps involved in this than just, like, picking up a thing and slotting in a game. There's no games to slot in,
I stopped buying physical PC games because all I got was a card with a Steam code on it. And I eventually was like, why did I leave the house for this?
Yeah.
I literally just got a cardboard box, a slip insert, 2 more slip inserts that are advertisements, and a card with a code on the back. That's all I got.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but again, I'm thinking about the mainstream people. I don't know if they would understand.
See,
you're not mainstream, Brett. You're a hardcore guy. You understand how this shit works.
Okay, so hold on, wait, let me ask. The PC games that they're selling at Best Buy, would you call those mainstream? Because those are being sold.
Well, they don't sell them anymore. There's a reason why. By the way, I could be wrong about this. Has Best Buy ever sold PC games with big boxes?
Yes, they have.
They have, right? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
They still sell a scanned view to this day, but that also opens the door for this. Instead of saying, if you have the game section over there, right? Now you can literally set up a bunch of those PC game cards, or the Steam cards, all up there with the Steam Deck right next to it. Something that makes perfect sense because already Microsoft and PlayStation and Nintendo are doing it already.
Yeah, so if it works for them,
for their digital only stuff. So again, your gateway is okay. You buy, let's say, $300. Somebody buys it from. Granted, you probably would. I wouldn't say this would be a younger audience device.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Probably be like somebody maybe in their teens and young adults. I would say it would be the sort of thing. But then, if you go down that road, and it seems to make sort of sense.
What do you do? What do you do in a case of like grandma trying to buy this? Like, how are you gonna sell this to her?
Oh, I got this is the best part, Tony.
Yeah.
The card that shows Call of Duty on the front is a Steam card. The card that shows Portal on the front, also a Steam card.
Yeah.
All of them are actually just $50 Steam cards.
No, I get that, but how do you explain that to grandma?
Grandma buys you Call of Duty. It doesn't matter if she bought you the wrong game.
But she buys you a physical, actual game.
Understand? Yeah, she buys you she buys the card that has the Call of Duty on the front. And she said, "Oh, it said Steam on it, so I got your Call of Duty, but it said Steam on it, so I got it." And you're like, "Yeah, that's fine. It's $50 Steam dollars."
I think I understand what Tony's saying.
Yeah.
And listen, you with point of purchase in stores, you have to think about, you have to cast the widest net possible. So grandma is not going to pick up a card. She's going to go to the glass case and look for the packaged game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She's going to look for Call of Duty that goes on the Steam Deck. And the thing is, what you want to do is, if you want to gain her sale, if she's buying a Steam Deck, if you want that unit sold, she has to know that it has that kind of support. She's not going to understand that you just go buy the Steam card and then you go buy the game online. That's not going to compute. Believe me, I could explain that to my mom. She wouldn't understand that. Like, I don't pick up a package, a thing that she doesn't think it's real.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So that's what he's talking about. Like, you lose sales. Like, if you want to cast the widest net possible, you have to play the game exactly as Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo does it.
So
which means.
No, let Chris finish. Let Chris finish.
I mean, just to add to it, what if you were to not only with this is a hypothetical. Not only with this thing, you have maybe some sort of box with something in it. Not the game, obviously the Steam card with the game, card, and then some other thing in there.
Sure. I mean, put a map in there, put a book in there, whatever, whatever you need to do to just get that extra sale. Because really, how much is a printed a book and a case going to cost you? Like pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Right. You need that shelf space that they can understand. And then for everyone else, yes, they'll pick up the Steam card, or they'll just turn on the Steam Deck and put their card or their PayPal in and buy points. Right. They'll know how to do that. But you want to cast the wider net, right? I'm not talking about Blue Ocean. I'm talking about you have to account for least common denominator. The guy who goes into GameStop and goes, I don't know what I want to buy for my son, or I have to buy my nephew this thing. A Steam Deck. What the hell is a deck? A deck I know plays fucking 8-track tapes. What do I buy? And the GameStop guy's gonna explain it to him, but probably sell him fucking everything under the sun.
Yeah, I'll sell him everything else, insurance and all that.
So here's my thing, and I disagree with all of you.
Oh, all of us, excuse me.
Whoa!
I'm
Controversial statement.
Yeah.
I have controversial statements here, and Tony, maybe you're the only one that'll understand.
Okay.
Chris has kids, but his kid is still too young for video games. But you have nephews that go constantly.
Perfect segue. Anthony, my youngest nephew's in the chat right now. So don't repeat any of the curses that we say tonight. He's
Okay.
So
anyway, but keep going. Okay.
Kids these days know what they want. Your nephew, whenever he wants something for Christmas or birthday, he knows what he wants.
Oh, yeah.
Because he watches the internet, he goes on YouTube videos, there's influencers, there's Logan Paul, there's all of these Ninja, all of these dudes. Like, kids know what they want. If their parents give them blind presents, especially with technology, and their parents don't know anything about their kids, then they're gonna fail. They're gonna return that shit. It's like,
Yeah.
like there's no grandma's going to the store to buy his kid a gaming console.
Well, hold on.
That's why I was saying it probably wouldn't be for a younger person. It would probably be for a kid or a young adult, at least the youngest he could go. You can't hand this over to like Nintendo Switch kid and expect them to fully understand what's going on with it. I don't think that Steam is really built that way.
Well, it doesn't have to be for a young kid. You're making an assumption. A gift can be for anyone.
Oh no, I'm
Right?
saying.
Hold on.
But I'm saying there's like a level of how I feel like how low down the totem pole it can go as far as ages. I don't know if I don't know.
Brett, you go next, man. Don't worry.
Shit.
I don't know if grandma is going to be. I don't know if grandma is going to be buying their 20-year-old, nephew or son, grandson, this thing. You know what I mean?
Well, not grandma. Like, just say it's like an uncle, and
It
like,
doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter, Brett? Okay,
Because-
explain to the guy
because
who worked for a video game company for 5 years why it doesn't matter. Please.
I can explain to you as a guy who worked at a video game retailer for 10 that it doesn't matter. People don't go in blind. Nobody.
You're wrong.
Grandma does not just walk in.
That's completely wrong.
Can I at least make my point?
I have shopped at a bunch of places where people go in blind, completely like not understanding. I saw women go into a store and not know anything about Pokemon, said I need to buy my kid Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. She needed to get Pokemon because the kid told her you need to get Pokemon. They latch onto the first word, and if the first and only word that they need to latch onto is Steam, they are capable of that. They come in half baked, but they come in. Somebody told them the information. They just don't remember it right. They only remember bits and pieces of it, and they're trying to hobble it back together. Like, I don't know, my kid sent me. They want something Xbox. Okay, well, which Xbox? I don't know. He just has the Xbox. That's why that shit fails. But when you unite that all under one umbrella of Steam, nobody's going to the store and be like, my kid plays. I have a grandson who plays video games or a nephew that plays video games. Well, what do they play? Video games. All you need to know is the platform. If you can't get the simple platform that you're playing on, then none of this would already be. People already wouldn't be able to go to the store to buy an Xbox game or a PlayStation
Yes, but that's not an exclusive place to play Steam. What if the guy in the store is in Best Buy? His incentive is to sell you a PC. Why wouldn't he say, "Hey, you can play Steam on this thing. Why don't you buy yourself an HP Envy? Why would you buy a Steam Deck?" Yes, no,
is
it said
that
that
the Steam handheld I've been hearing about? Is that the Steam machine?
Yes, but then the guy in Best Buy tells you that's a waste of time, and it'd be better to get yourself a desktop and look at this rig. Because you know what?
that's
If
like
I was
saying-
the if I was the salesman in the store and I made commission, I'm going to sell you the Envy. I'm not going to sell you the Steam Deck.
You could say that about anything that they make commission on now. You could say anything in Micro Center they're going to lead you towards the highest price purchase. You could say for some reason they're going to try and push PlayStation instead of Xbox. It doesn't make sense economically to do that on a large scale. It is a high point purchase that is easy to get out the door. Anybody on commission is going to want to do that. And if you're on commission and you're just trying to upsell, you work at a shitty place. And that's just predatory behavior that shouldn't be excused no matter what, because they're automatically going to try and sell you on the highest ticket item.
Well, not if you're asking for a Nintendo Switch. There's no higher price Nintendo Switch. You can only get one thing. You can only get one PS5. You can only get one Xbox.
They'll confuse it with the other handheld thing that does Steam.
Yeah, there's really not that many. There's that and that. You can a desktop PC is just not the same equivalence. They're like, if the parent doesn't know anything and it's like Steam, and that's it. It's like, and it gives them a huge desktop tower, then the parent failed because they're not getting their kid what they wanted.
Also, this is a small subsection of the market we're talking about here.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see how the PC people know what the hell they're doing and what they're talking about. The average person who's shopping for electronics does not know the specific details. You say Steam, they're not going to know what the fuck that means.
Yeah,
I want the Steam machine. If you come in and say, I want the Steam machine. Okay, are you, what are you talking about? I'm not Grant saying I want the Steam machine, the handheld thingy. Okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's called the Steam Deck. It's over here.
Yeah, but what if some asshole's like, well, I have a bunch of Alienwares over here that are branded Steam Machine. Why not just move those and get rid of them?
Well, then she'll buy it, give it to her kid. Her kid's going to get a temper tantrum, going to return it, and get the Steam Deck.
Yeah, like that's like saying, okay, I want to go in and buy a PlayStation, but the guy actually tells me, well, you want to buy a PlayStation so your kid can play Call of Duty, right? Well, this high-end PC that costs 3 times as much also plays Call of Duty, so why don't you just buy that instead? Like, it comes down to being able to remember the name of the brand. And the name of the brand is the most simplistic, basic thing you can ask a customer to remember. And they've shown time and time again that they will remember the name of a brand. And as long as you go in knowing I want the Steam thing. Even if you can't remember the whole name, Steam Deck. If you can't remember that, you just need the Steam thing.
Yo,
and people will know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, I could just imagine somebody goes there. Cause again, I really don't think much of like the average Joe. They come in there, hey, I want that new portable. They just advertise and they go, here's the Switch OLED. I wonder how many people are gonna buy those instead. I guarantee you. I tell you, people are really fucking dumb, bro. They're gonna be like,
how many other people here have worked retail for gaming stores? How many people have actually been in this situation?
Yeah, but dude, how many people of us have been in stores and seen the dumbery of people, bro? People are really fucking dumb.
You're saying it with enough conviction to enforce that I'm disagreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
No. To these guys, they're saying like, oh, these situations are gonna come up. Yes, you've maybe seen a grandma confused every once in a while. 90% of your sales are not going to be that. And for the one grandma that comes in, if you're doing your job well in any of these stores, you're going to find out the thing. Yeah. They're going to find dude. It's not iffy. It's the simplest thing.
If
what
you're doing
no,
Brett, I said if you're doing your job because a lot of these clerks are fucking idiots too.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. You can't be an idiot. All you have to know is if somebody says Steam, you're like, okay, well, first of all, if somebody says the Steam thing, nobody's going to think that they're talking about a computer. Nobody, because Steam isn't a brand of computer.
So this hypotheticals, all this exercise we're doing, I think it's going to go to deaf ears because these systems, these Steam Decks are not going to be, we're not going to be able to get them physically for a year or two if we're able to get them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, when are we going to see these things in stores? But I still maintain that this is, for the hardcore guys. Like, the guys go, I want the fucking Steam Deck. Like, the guys who actually know this shit. Some other people maybe.
Get that. Yeah. But you're saying, like, okay, what if somebody who wants a Steam Deck tells their relative who doesn't know anything about it, and they go in, they're going to be dissuaded from buying the Steam Deck because the package that they buy that says Call of Duty on it is a card and not a box. Like, do you realize how many times you have to, like, cut down the number of variants before you get down to that? That's 1 in 10,000, maybe.
I don't want to hear the word variance anymore.
Oh man! All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you guys. Realistically, boots on the ground, that number is very low. People come in and it's just like tattooing, man. They don't know what they're talking about, but they know what they want. They don't know how to communicate, but they have a vague idea of the thing they're supposed to be looking for. Even if it's, hey, Grandma, I want this, they showed him a picture of the Toys R Us ad.
Well, I'll give you that argument, Brett. Whenever in Q4 2022 or Q1 2023, whenever there's enough of this shit to put in the store, right? Because I'm not even going to get mine till like Q2 if that's iffy, right? Because it got pushed even after I ordered, it got pushed. So that's just online orders. And with the shortage, I doubt Best Buy or anyone's going to be able to order enough of these to be in a store. They'll probably get one, and somebody in the back is going to take it. So yeah, it's going to be a while.
Probably an employee.
But I would say that with the big three, they always fight over positioning in the stores. And I used to hear this all the time from the sales guys. They used to argue with Walmart and Target and whatever for that primo front shelf space. Like when you walk down the aisle, the first thing you see is the Nintendo logo, not the Sony logo, not Microsoft, right? And Microsoft will pay Best Buy more for primo positioning to give them deals to do. They all do shady shit to push it. If Valve gets a spot in the store, I guarantee they'll be like, yo, get that motherfucker in the back by the bargain bin. You don't want him in the front. Like, you better see my logo from the aisle. Valve, you better not see that shit unless you're looking for a fucking used copy of Settlers of Catan. Maybe you'll find it back there.
They're gonna make you go to the dimly lit back of the store and walk right past the Nintendo to get there.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
That's gonna be an interesting thing because, like, also, will Steam do that sort of thing? Will Valve do that sort of thing? Essentially, try to designate a portion of a store like a GameStop or a Target or any of those other places trying to get that.
I hope they do. I hope they do because that's part of the support. You've got to you have to cast a wider net than just it being online or whatever. You have, even if you put up a sign or something, you need to get it in people's thoughts, right? Like, oh, there's this alternative to the Switch and PS5. There's this other thing. I want to know what this other thing is, and you'll think about it. Like, at least if you get that, not if Nintendo pays to push you into the back, then you ain't gonna think about it. But you have to try.
I don't think this thing's going to be a megaton hit either. Like, let's be honest, this thing as now is a somewhat niche device, but that doesn't mean it can't be successful. You know, Valve only needs to get it to be a successful niche device to break into a wider market. They've made several statements that aren't even insinuating. They're straight up telling you there are bigger things to come. This is the first step of a new kind of marketing strategy they're trying to bring out, and they're trying to take PC gaming away from just the PC. So this is a multi-part plan here.
Yeah, I do want to say real quick, just a clarifying thing. I don't think this thing's going to fail. I think, given the reaction we've seen for it, I think it's going to do very well. I just wanted to know, or I'm curious about mainstream attraction, but this shit's gonna do well just based off the hardcore guys alone. I believe, I really do. The hardcore guys want it, man, especially the guys who want a more powerful handheld. This shit's gonna do fine. I'm not even worried about that. I'm just curious to know if it'll reach those like mainstream levels. You know,
Steam Deck 2 is for the mainstream. This is testing the waters. I honestly feel like the Steam controller and like all the things they've done so far have kind of been gently testing the waters, right?
This has it all. This has it all in there, man.
I know this has it all, and that's why I'm like, okay, so they test the ideas, they kind of put them together, they're putting them out there, and this is gonna be like the 4 episodes of Castlevania. If enough of these things fucking sell, you'll see a Steam Deck too.
I think the one thing about this is
Mr. Vale.
What's up, Adam? I think the one thing about this is that it does insert it is the best step for them to attract the mainstream audiences. Because remember, in general, we talk about simplicity, right? With a lot of this sort of stuff. You don't need to deal with any sort of funky PCs. You don't need to deal with a lot of these things. You just need to pretty much access the store, get it on there, and just do it. And I think that is a lot easier. I think a lot more. It's a lot more acceptable for people to absorb, right? There's a lot of systems that are like that. You have what do they call that? Amazon, and and all those other different programs, and they're all online stores within your different devices. So I think once you get it into, obviously right now we're in, everybody who's getting it is people that who already own Steam accounts. They're already the kind of hardcore. But I think once the next part of that comes, I think this is probably the closest to getting PC gaming into the hands of the regular Joe Blow audience.
Yeah. Adam, I want your take on this, and we'll move on. By the way, Adam, shout out representing the Yankees tonight. I see that hat, brother.
Burn that hat.
Yeah, and Adam, you're good. Yeah, you're good here. Oh, Star Wars shirt. You're good because we're still on the first question. We went hardcore.
Shit, here we go. I spent all weekend, as you know, I've been flooding you guys with all this shit. 'Cause I can't sleep. I'm over here looking up stuff. I'm bumping to my wife. She's like, I'm trying to sleep. I'm like, oh God, I'm stressing right now. I'm stressing. I had an order. I had 2 orders. I canceled one. I told you, motherfucker, I'm done with that. I'm done with this shit. And then I was like, no, I can't cancel the other one because I found out some more news on it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Adam. If you guys could see our chats, Adam is the personification of that Always Sunny in Philadelphia guy that is like theorizing and like conspiracy.
Oh no!
Adam is that. He was like,
No, but you gotta understand because
I will never buy a Steam Deck. Adam buys a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
No, because when I said it at the time, I thought it was a locked system. That's what it was. I was like, oh, another one, because they kept saying, oh, Steam OS. They were bragging. I'm like, all right. And then when I saw the video, and they were like, oh no, you can install Windows. They're not gonna, cause issues. You can do this. You can do that. You can put other things. Then I'm like, okay. And they showed a big lock and showing it's unlocked, just really specifying that it's open. And I was like, okay, I'm cool. I just thought it was a locked system. I'm like, fuck, another one.
No, Adam,
they
I
said
told
that in the
you.
original video.
We were talking about this. Tony said he could install, and then I saw
man.
too.
But remember, I wasn't in your little chat thingies. I didn't see all that.
You're
That's
right
when I started
there.
getting that other thing. I was like,
show.
oh, join us. So I
You
didn't
said
see
that on
it.
the show too.
Yeah,
we did see that.
Yeah, we did see that on the show.
We should have sent an email to.
Yeah, we should have said it. There you go. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have an email chain. We have an email chain.
But that was before. No, that was before. It was after that. I was on board for that. It was after all that. When I started seeing all the other issues with the whole thing with the Windows and the Windows games, and I was like, oh, am I really gonna just have to flush it? And I was like, they put so much work into this Steam OS. It's like I want to experience it. I don't want to, Brett was someone, flush it. And there's gonna be a lot of people that just say that. But remember, Windows is not fully optimized for it yet, so there's still gonna be a lot of issues, and we want the OS that's in there because it's got the configurations. It knows how to really function and integrate the software with the hardware. So I want that experience. But
Adam, they're promising 100% compatibility by launch.
That's some bullshit. So when that site that you found, Tony, the Proton database, Proton, because that's what I kept seeing. I kept saying, well, listen, we got this thing, because I was like, all right, I get it. This is a modified version of Linux. This is your custom build, but not all games. I have a large Steam library. Not all of them have a Linux build, and a lot of the ones that they were showing, we saw Star Wars Fallen Order, we saw Control, and Doom Eternal. All three of those all three. Well, I definitely knew the 3 before. All 3 of those did not have a Linux build. I looked at my Steam just to double check. It's just Windows. I'm like, how are they doing this? Are they doing? And I told Rich from over at the Coalition, I was like, what if they're fooling us? What if this is just their own version of the xCloud? And they're like, oh yeah, you're doing it like a GeForce Now thing.
Oh yes,
we said it. Oh yeah, it can run on it, but not just installed on it. It's streaming. Gotcha, bitches. I'm like, oh no. So then that's when I started looking it up. I'm like, how are they doing this? That's literally what I typed in. How are they pulling this off? And then that Proton thing started coming up. I'm like, this sounds like some make-believe marble shit. Oh, we got the Proton power. I'm like, what is this shit? And it was like, well, they got some way to finagle and get Windows to work on this modified version of Linux. I'm like, and Uncle Phil's cool with this shit? This sounds like you're just hacking the software. It's like, but whatever. They got it to work, and that site that you sent us, it's great. I hope you share it with the community, share with everybody, grandmothers, grandparents, everybody should see this shit, because because not only does it show all the games, and yes, it could easily have just said works, don't work. It actually breaks down on the quality of the game and if it needs tweaks, and that's the key there. The tweaks. What kind of tweaks? Do I have to make tweaks? We don't know because it's not on the device yet. Maybe the device doesn't need any tweaks. Maybe by the time we get our hands on it, it's all tweaked out. Whatever I'm assuming, this is what I'm assuming and what I'm hoping, that once we get it out of the box, we sign in with our Steam accounts, whatever games it displays are the ones that it definitely knows we can play. I do not want to click, I don't know, like I saw on the list that Gears 5 definitely doesn't work, right? I don't want to see that on my list and get all my hopes up. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play. And then this shit gives me some weird, funky PC error message. You can't do this shit, my bad, sorry. Just don't show it. Because I also have Steam on my Mac. And my Mac, it doesn't show a lot of my games. It only shows the ones that have a Mac build.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's what we see when we boot it up. But overall, I mean, I'm excited for it. I was really concerned. Until tomorrow. Then something else will stress me out, because I got concerned with a lot of the other stuff because I had two builds. I had two Steam accounts. That's how I had this. Right, and when we were all just juggling trying to get into them, it just so happened that both of them got one, and I had one that was for. I didn't drink today. I had one that was the $3.99 one, right, the base one, and then I had the $2.56, right. The $3.99 one was the first quarter, and then the second quarter is my other one. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just cancel the first one, and then I saw online it was like, oh wait, and I sent you the message showing that Gabe somebody hit him up with a message and say, hey, you're saying that it's all the same hardware and everything underneath the hood is the same. So shouldn't there be a slot there for the NVMe? It's like, yeah, there is a slot. Holy shit! So there is a slot. So if you open it up, you could put something in there. So maybe you should stick with that one. And you can always upgrade it. And then that's what I was talking to you guys. I was like, well, if that's the case, I already had canceled that app one. I canceled the first one. So I'm like, I'll just go with the other one. And eventually I'll open it up and see if I can put my own 1 terabyte, because we've already seen some of those Samsungs and other ones. I'll put one of my own, and then just, will it let me do it? Or is it just going to crap out on me? Because you can't do that on the Series X. I've seen people try to do it on the internal, just swap that out, the internal one, put it in. It does not automatically say, hey, your shit's fucked up and corrupt. We're going to rebuild your OS. It doesn't do it. It's like, you're done. So I wonder if it's going to do that, or will it say, hey, there's an error, something's going on. Let us reinstall the software. That way we can take that 256 out and put our own 1 terabyte internally in, and then the whole issue with the micro SD cards, yes, it's great to have that, but when you look up online, the read and write speeds, it's a pain in the ass. At least when it comes to performance, there is a delay for larger games. Anything over 40 gigs has a delay. So you're going to be looking at putting a lot of your older stuff and then putting some of your bigger things up. But then some of the games are too big. They're not being optimized. That was my other concern. I want Call of Duty on it. Call of Duty is like 250 gigs. So there's no way I'm even fitting that on the mid-tier. Tony, you can't, because you got that 512 beast.
No, I don't. I got the 251.
Oh, you got the 250? Okay.
Yeah, Carlos is the one that got the beast.
Oh,
and Chris too, I
Carlos
believe.
Beeson. There you go.
Yes.
There you go, Bush.
Yeah, Chris and Carlos got the beast. Yeah.
Bushwick for
Hey,
life.
Brett, didn't you get the beast? No, Brett, you got the same one I did, right? Mid-tier?
Oh yeah. Actually,
Or did you
I
upgrade?
got the beast one.
Oh,
I got the
beast
beast.
one.
There you
Let's
go.
go.
So those three, you guys are golden. You can just plug in with all the bells and whistles, all the updates, and you ain't gonna have issues.
Here's my question: can I upgrade? Because like because I kind of like, hey, maybe I should get the beast one. Is there like an upgrade option?
Yes, no. What you can do is you can, and I saw this when I canceled my 399 one. They give you the refund. You get an email, and the email says that you can go back in to the queue, but you're going to get dropped down to 1, and that's if they're available.
Oh,
so yes,
gotcha.
you could right now if you want. Go ahead, cancel it. But you don't know if they're all gone for the next quarter.
Q1 2024.
Yeah, or you might like some of the joke schmoes that I'm seeing a lot of people actually in Europe that are getting hit in that quarter 3. It looks like everybody in my brother
Brian.
My brother just got into it yesterday because I sent him the link. He was like, yo, this is awesome. I want to get one. I was like, all right, good luck. And then he replied like 5 minutes later, got it. I'm like, whoa. And they said a quarter 2. So he's good. But then you're seeing all these people from Europe and other areas, and they're like, yo, we're quarter 3. So I think it maybe depending on the region, but yeah, that's how you do it. You cancel it, but here's the other thing. You can't do it right away because once you do it, you have to wait to get the refund back, which takes like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
And then you'll get an email saying it's back. And I only know this because then when I refreshed my site, I saw that it kept saying that I still owned it. I'm like, yo, I canceled this. I'm under my main Steam account. Yeah. It's like, I canceled this. And then like a few hours later, I went back and then it popped up that it was gone. And I'm like, okay, good. So I don't have to worry about that. But that's my other issue that I had was that I was just worried also with just the size of these games. We know these PC games are massive. And this is what Digital Foundry, when you sent that video, Digital Foundry even said the same thing. These games have to be optimized. They're really reliant on developers adapting to this new hardware and accepting it and saying, hey, all right, we're going to make a special version just for this one. And that doesn't have to be nothing crazy, but just downsize. If it's a 720p screen, I don't need 4K textures on it because that's still
a good
large.
point, yeah.
That's going to take up a lot of space. That's the whole thing. It's like they slim it down. If they can do that, we're talking a 60 gig game can go down to 30 gigs.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't need it. There's no need for that.
That's true.
It's really dependent on developers jumping in on it, and another way of getting people in, to sort of see this almost like a Kickstarter. Because then they jump in when they see, wow, what was it that they bragged about? There was like 100,000 sold or pre-ordered or something.
Well, I don't even know the numbers.
Yeah, there was some site I saw something. It was like, oh, they were bragging about like over 100,000 pre-orders. Whatever. Still, we've seen the buzz. We see the receptance. So if everyone's really into it, then this will push the developers to saying, all right, you know what? Let's work on this. What do we need? And I'm sure there's some kind of SDK kit or something that Steam has. Is like, hey, listen, run your game through this. It'll shrink it down to size for this, because I'm telling you, if this works within year 2, maybe later 22 to 23, we're gonna see PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and Steam Deck. That's gonna be compatible, so that people know, oh, that is gonna be good to go on my other handheld. Because that's it. This is a platform. So I think I jumped in just when Manny was talking about, but he's talking about it. Like, this is going to be, if this works, this is going to be that go-to, because it's going to be easy for the casuals out there. Because right now,
we're just talking about that. We're like, our
exactly.
casual, how are casuals going to be able to get in, like at a store or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
No, that's going to be after us. That's going to be maybe 23, 2020. If it's still a hit,
we could all agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's still a hit, then that's when you'll see Best Buy and Walmart say, all right, let's open up the checkbook. How many can we get for next holiday? You know, then they'll jump into it, because then it proves that there is a market for it. That people, I mean, they're not breaking the bank with these things, and there's a lot of power. There's a lot of power under the hood. So when you think of the price, when someone's like, oh, well, there's $399 and the $520, yeah, but look what you're getting. You know what I mean? It's like, this is awesome. Like, just that list. If somebody's on the fence and you send them that list of all the games that we know are going to work on the Proton, we're not talking about Windows and wiping, just out of the box. And to see that there's something just as gold, and this will work perfectly right at the box. And we got Cyberpunk, like you said, is on there. You know what I mean? And you got Street Fighter 5. We got Resident Evil 7. You know, we got some big titles that you can play in your hand on the go in the potty.
Yeah, I'm gonna name off
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, you can. I'm gonna name off some of the golden ones real quick, and then we gotta move. By the way, we're still on the first question. We got a lot of them.
Before that, can I ask?
Throw down, baby. What's up?
So which one did you end up getting, Adam?
The 256.
250. Brian, you got the 256 as well, right, Brian?
Yeah, he got that.
Yeah, all right. So that's 3 of us with that one.
And you're both Q2, 2022.
Q2. Yeah,
I'm Q1.
And that's.
What about you, Brian? You Q2, right, Brian?
Q2.
All right.
Yeah, and I think it had to do with like
New York Sun Q1. Let's go.
I think it had to do with the versions or something. I don't know. Well, you said you got Q1, right?
I got Q1. Q1
and you're 2. Okay, because I was thinking that maybe the cheaper one, since that was like easier.
Adam, if you would have stayed in New York, you would have been Q1 too, man. You lost it, man.
There you
out
go.
there
My
fucking
bad,
bumblefuck nowhere.
No, but Adam, you did a good job, like not getting the original.
I think so.
The $399 one. That one's gonna be slow as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be slow with the memory,
that shit.
and then it's gonna be even slower from the games running off the SSD.
Yeah,
so even if I get that 1 terabyte, which is what I plan on getting for this one also, it's still not gonna run to the capacity that I wanted to, especially if I'm dumping all my games on it. So yeah, I could dump my Call of Duty, Black Ops, and all of them, but man, it's gonna run like fucking turtle speed on that shit. So it's like
turtles.
I can't. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, just keep that in mind, people. When everyone's like, oh, well, you got this micro SD card, put things that are like 20, 30 gigs most on it. Don't put these big beefy games, because it's going to take forever for the loading.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next question here. Second question too. This one is a little bit of an interesting question. Mob Hits, is Steam Deck a console?
It's definitely a platform. It's definitely a platform. We just talked about that.
Go ahead, Brett.
It can evolve into one. That's one of the things I find really cool. Like, yes, it is a handheld, and yes, that is the thing everybody's getting all up in arms about. But like, I hear a lot of people PC geeks talking about, the power to price ratio, and this is pretty much one of the best PCs you can get right now. Like I said before, you can't even buy the parts necessary to build a PC of this power for that price. So I think. Yep.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were done. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was. Hello.
Carlos, you
Hello?
fucked it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead,
Am I
Brett.
still
Go
there?
ahead.
Okay.
We're waiting.
I thought you had one of those brain farts again, like earlier.
Yeah.
No, now I'm trying to remember where I was.
I think I would jump. I mean, I think it is going to be a console if it can get to that point where the games are all working on it, and we'll see that there is a certain version, like this whole Proton system is required because it's a custom OS running on it. So then, if that's the case, then all these games, especially all these Windows games, are being modified. So if you modify it's custom, then yeah, you're your own thing. You're not a one for what I have on the PC.
This feels like a trick question because, like, is it a console? No, it's a PC.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
It's not a console. Just like Switch is a portable console, this is a portable PC. So this is a PC. This is not a console.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. It's not a console.
I agree.
But
Yep.
you can use it like a console.
Yes, you
Steam
can.
has Steam's big picture mode. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't think it is right away. I mean, it has the capabilities, but in the eye of people, it is right away. People are going to get it for you, like, oh, it's a portable PC. I'm going to hook a keyboard and mouse up to it. Oh, it's a portable gaming machine. I'm going to use it in its native mode. And then as people kind of get more weary of using handheld mode, as they often do, they're like, hey, I'm just going to hook this thing up to my fucking TV and hook an Xbox controller up to it.
That's
pretty dope.
That's what I was thinking of really using it for.
Yeah, you can do that.
And it upscales too.
Yeah, it upscales, and I'm sure it'll have a web browser in there. If it does, then you can connect.
Oh,
to
it
your
has a
Game Pass.
web browser over Game Pass. Exactly.
There you go. There you go.
Tony, it'll be a console when they come out with the upgrade dock.
No, yeah, that's right. Well, they do already have a dock, but you're right, an upgrade dock. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, that feels like something that Steam might actually do, or Valve might actually do, because they kind of listen to their consumers and try to do things that are going to be convenient, like back buttons. God damn it,
dude! I think this is a benefit of this being, like, initially at least a console for the hardcore guys. They're gonna see what we want and be like, let's give them that shit because we want the most out of our system. So because the mainstream guys, Nintendo guys, they don't give a fuck what they don't care about nothing really. They don't care about power or graphics. We care about that shit. So we will want stuff like that. So that's definitely a good thing. All right. Go ahead. Actually, real quick, I just got to say this.
Well, the one other issue that I was thinking, I was like
another one.
Well, this is the other thing, because I was like, even if, let's say, we
flush fucking have anxiety attacks in this bitch.
This is what I've been stressed over. So let's say even if I flush out Steam OS, I put in my Windows, and I want to load all my launchers. I want to load my Epic games because I got a shitload of games on there. And am I going to have that issue because it's still on that type of hardware? Yes, it's a PC. It's got all PC parts, but will it recognize it? Will the game itself, will the engine, will the launcher recognize what I'm running it on, or will it be confused?
Yeah.
Well,
by the way, I'm sorry, I gotta cut you off. This is off topic, but it's still on it. You know that meme where, like, you see a husband and wife in bed and shit, and the woman's like all mad. She's like, I bet he's thinking about another woman. So imagine that, but with Adam on your side. Adam's like, man, is this game gonna be able to run on Steam OS? That's what he's saying.
I couldn't sleep, and then I bumped into my wife, and she was like, it's too late. I want to go to sleep. I was like, no, I'm not bumping you to that. I'm just stressing right now because I'm thinking of these other things going on. She said, what are you thinking about? And I can't even tell you what I'm thinking about because you just get mad.
Yes, exactly. So she's thinking about no woman. I was like, yo, am I gonna be able to play Call of Duty on Steam Deck?
Those are things, little things. How about this? No, replace Call of Duty with my fucking Rockstar Table Tennis because remember they never made one for PC.
Yeah,
so then I have to run Dolphin for my Wii run because I have it for Wii and I have 360. 360 emulator doesn't work well with Rockstar Table Tennis. My Dolphin Wii emulator works perfect with it. So then I'm like, shit, I really need to do that. I need to install it, but am I gonna have issues? Hopefully by then, Dolphin, I have a patch or something to run on it because I'm like, I bet you there's gonna be other ways to just sideload things onto this version of Linux without having to do the whole flush. Or can I just do a dual boot? Will I have that option to do a dual boot? So that way when I turn on, I can go to Windows from my emulators, and then I could switch to my Steam OS to still get all the bells and whistles because there's a lot of stuff they're gonna include in it. Remember, the mic is there, so then that means we can still do a chat and do all that stuff. That's gonna be sweet.
You know what
Is he gonna play Skate 4?
You know what, Adam?
Skate 4.
Adam, like Sleepless is just literally like you remember that from what was it? I forgot what movie it was, but anyway, like like you see all those little calculations floating in front of his head, and he's like trying to figure things. From The Hangover, yeah, it's literally that. That was him in his bed, like trying to figure out how this works.
I'm telling you, because right off the bat, when I saw this, I'm telling you, I was doing a countdown clock. I was like over the moon for that. I'm like, this is the second coming. This is what we've been waiting for.
It's the second coming of you when you got long hair,
I'm like, but you know what? But then it's like I had to bring myself back down because there's so many of these on the market. Hell, we got another one. Alienware UFO is coming out next year, and that looks just like this shit. So I'm like, we got another one.
Meanwhile, Adam doesn't hesitate twice to buy his 10th fucking Switch.
You're right.
I do not. I do have a pre-order for.
Yeah, you pre-ordered that shit without hesitation.
But you know what? Because that's a
Adam bought that shit like, brr. He's all happy as shit.
I was so happy. I'm so happy. That's a toy. That's a thing. That's something else.
The thing about it is that this idea that Valve is doing is actually really not a new idea. I mean, if there's a lot of these sorts of handheld sort of PC like that almost looks like handheld PCs. Like we've seen a lot of those things coming from China and Japan and stuff like that.
And they come already with Windows on it. Like that's it. Windows is the default.
The GPD are like one of the best ones for that.
Yeah, but the thing is, they started like $800. They're expensive, So that's what's really enticing. Well, two things: one, that the price, and then two, that it's a known brand. Valve, Steam, people know this. So it's like, as opposed to like the ones that we talked about. You go to Alibaba and you pick up something like shit. I don't know. I saw some reviews on YouTube. It looked okay. Got Windows. But we'll have to wait and see. And that was my concern, though, just of all the other factors of like, well, I've seen other ones before and they don't work well. They say they do. It sounds great. The hardware is there, but there's always some compatibility issues, something where the game needs a certain piece of memory or RAM or the processor, and it's not understanding because there's all custom onboard shit. So it causes issues. But I'm after reading about the Proton and reading about all the stuff Steam has been doing, and they've been working on this for years. This isn't like, hey, we think we could do this. Let's just spit one out and see what happens. I think they put a lot of time into it.
You could tell.
Yeah. I mean, look at the hardware is beautiful. I mean, right,
dude. Think about it like this, right? When Manny said the price was $650, I was like, oh wow, that's like that's pretty cheap. I was assuming that's the cheapest one. When he said that's the most expensive, shit, you're crazy.
That's the expensive one.
I just imagined it was going to be over $1,000. So think about that. Go ahead.
The higher end ones are like $1,200.
Yeah.
Ones that are on the market. Yeah.
Well, yeah, those things are usually running some kind of modified mobile chipset or something like this. This is straight up just like a PC chip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just all like I don't know about you guys, but like, have any of you ever held a Steam controller?
No, I have one.
Not.
Yes. Oh my god! And for those that you have, was it not just like immediately like I feel like I was born with this?
It feels cool. It's definitely cool. I have one, and I also have from my NVIDIA Shield. That's
Brian has one too. He said,
dude, it's a solid. It takes a second to get used to like some of the touchpad shit on it.
Yeah, that big touchpad.
When it does.
I gotta jump in, Brett. I'm sorry. Gotta cut because this is a perfect segue. I'm sorry. Okay. I was watching a video, right? Somebody on the screen was, playing a first-person shooting game, right? And for a second, I'm like, wow, this is bad, bro, because like they're aiming with this, they're moving around with the left thumbstick, right? But they're not touching the right thumbstick. So I'm like, how are they aiming? This is fucking fake. Then I realized, oh shit, their other thumb is on the touchpad.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
You could bring RTS to life on the
go.
So,
Brett, that's what I'm talking about. Like, dude, the touchpad is there too, and it's dope.
The dual touchpads.
Yeah.
The dual touchpad. It's like having to learn to walk again. But once you get it, you're like, I can do so much with this. And the Steam controller, it's incredibly well made. It is better. Like it feels better constructed in your hands than the Wii Pro controller does, or the Switch Pro controller does.
Well,
Damn,
And
that's high
a lot of
praise.
people I know that when I was sending it out, they're like, "Why did they go with this Wii U design? Why are they doing that? You know, with the tablet design."
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so discreet of the pads.
You didn't even notice
you
it.
you don't even notice. Like, there's a reason they moved the sticks up, because that empty space, that's the touchpad on both sides.
My head just exploded right now. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you know. By the way, my right hand's kind of fucked up, right? So I kind of have some problems like playing some of these games. I just realized with me, I was thinking, like, how am I going to use the right stick and press the top buttons? I don't have to worry about that shit. The buttons are in the back.
Yeah,
Perfect. I don't have to worry about that shit. Oh my god, this thing's gonna be dope. This thing's gonna be fucking dope. You know. Oh my god! But you know, when I saw that first thing, I was like, "Man, they got like what kind of fake ass footage is this? They're aiming and they're not even touching the thumbstick. Like, oh wait, they're touching a touchpad, bruh. Magic." So yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. Good stuff. I don't even know if we answered that one. We answered it for like a minute. We answered the question. Like, is it a console? No, it's a PC, baby.
No, it's a PC with like which just brings that feel of a console because it's in your hand.
But yeah, I was like, oh, the touchpad is there, man. That shit is dope. All right. The next 3 questions in a row are actually all related to Nintendo and the Steam Deck. All right. This one is from Mr. Michael Santiago. Shout out to Michael Santiago. I met him for the first time when Danny Pena gave him. Michael Santiago was the first consumer on Earth that got an Xbox Series X. Like,
that was the dude in the video.
That was the guy in the video. Yep.
Okay.
So shout out to him.
Right.
He's a big fan of Throwdown. You know, he listens to us all the time.
Isn't he like a first responder or something like that?
Yeah, he's a first responder up in the Bronx. You know,
Bronx.
You know, so shout out to him for keeping people safe during this pandemic. And think about it. This was like he was testing it during the fire. Like, he did his training and all that before the Rona. He started working as a paramedic, you know, during the Rona, and then bam, this shit hit. So shout out to him, you know. So his question is, I think this question may be slightly outdated because we have more info, but I'll read it anyway. Did Nintendo hold off on the Switch Pro this holiday because they found out about the Steam Deck and didn't want to go up against it? The Switch OLED is clearly a mid-gen Switch, in my opinion. I don't know about that now because there's no definitive date to this. The reason he asked is because originally this was assumed to be coming out this year, Q1, but now we know it's actually not. So no, Nintendo doesn't give a fuck what's going on.
No, they don't.
Well, they don't. On top of they don't care. The delays in any announcement of hardware refresh is probably due to semiconductor shortages more than anything else.
So yeah, no, we don't think it had anything to do with it. Nintendo does their own thing, you know. All right, the next one. Let me get this question. We answered that real fast. This one is also related to the Nintendo Switch, and because the comparison is valid, obviously, because this is like
people just need to know this is not the Steam Deck is not a Switch killer. It's not.
No, it's not. I think that's literally a question. So let me get to that. This one, that's the next question. This one is from Black Mage. All right, is the Steam Deck a potential Switch killer in the West if Nintendo fails to deliver an appropriate Switch Pro? So there's a little bit of a twist there.
Nope. Only for a few reasons, but the main one is just the fact of how you can obtain one of these. You can't just walk into a store, or Walmart, or Best Buy, or anything like you can, or GameStop, like you can for a Switch. It's got that massive library. It's got Mario and all that stuff. There's always going to be an audience that just wants that. So this is very niche right now. Look, the way you get it is just through Steam, right? That's it. That's the only way you can get it. You got to be in the know to do this. So I don't see this for the longest time. I mean, that's if you believe in that, then you're believing that Nintendo's just going to phase out and disappear because this is going to be their thing with the Switch for years to come.
Yeah, I don't think anybody here is going to think that this is going to topple the Switch. But by the way, just real quick, and Brad, I'll let you go next. I think what they're doing with the way they're selling this is fantastic. If you didn't buy a game on Steam before June 2020, you can't buy this shit. That really cuts down on the number of scalpers, which is great.
I wonder if scalpers are trying to flood it anyway.
They're probably trying some shit.
I call BS on that. I call BS on only because I have 2 accounts. I have a main one, and then I had a bullshit account. My main one, I use it all the time, especially with the coalition. It gets up. The other one, I said I hadn't used it in like 2 years. I didn't think it was going to work. It still worked.
Oh yeah, they're talking about
I did not buy any game. No, the last time I bought something was it said like 2015.
But it still counts.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Because there was no time. It wasn't recent. I mean, I thought we had to do within the next month.
Adam, you have to buy a game before June of this year. before June of this year. You
anytime.
could have bought it when
Oh.
Jesus was alive.
Okay,
You know?
all right. I thought it meant like I had to
When
buy it
Adam was alive,
within a year.
you know?
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So then that's why it worked. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Brett, what's up?
I don't think this is a Switch killer. For a reason I'll get to in a minute, but I do want to say this is definitely a Switch wounder. You're not going to see a hit in the you're going to see a hit in the hardware for Switch because let's be fucking honest, Switch owners aren't the type of owners that generally only own one system. Their Switch isn't actually their primary system. It's most people's secondary system or something they have on the side or to go with their PC gaming or whatever. So those people that bought it are still going to buy it for the Nintendo's big titles. However, the day of the Nintendo tax is fucking done, at least for a good portion of it. I know a lot of people who are getting this simply so that they don't have to pay $50 for all their indie titles that they want. They've been paying a premium to Nintendo for this, and Steam kind of cut into that market a little bit. So it's kind of a Venn diagram. You're not going to see a lot of hardware drop off, but I think you're going to see a lot of software drop off on indie games, a whole lot.
Sure, I think we're gonna see even more deals though when it comes to the games because I know for myself and my brother and other people that were like, all right, now what do I do? I'm like, now you build that damn collection. Now you go to CD Keys, you go to Green Man Games, you sign up for whenever they do the big sales. You got a Steam sale still going on right now. I picked up Max Payne 3 for $6. I'm like, and I looked at that was on the list, and that works. Yeah, so exactly.
See, but that's the stuff that's bad for Nintendo. People are like, "Oh, I want to play Shovel Knight." Okay, well, I mean, yeah, and even down to the price, like, okay, well, I can pay $40 for it, or I can get it for $6. Now, extrapolate that over, however many games you want, and the price for the Steam Deck doesn't really start seeming so terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, I gotta ask, when any of you were thinking about the cost of the thing itself, did any of you go, yeah, but I'm going to save so much in games?
Well, I did think that because Steam is always running sales, like, and Brett's absolutely right on that. Like a lot of the indie stuff that Nintendo takes is parallel to Steam, except they're charging like a premium,
Ridiculous prices.
you know. And here's the kicker, like some of you guys have newer TVs like Carlos and Tony. Right, so you want the best output for that. If you could play those games at a lower price on your TV and you get it at the resolution it was meant to be seen, right?
Yeah,
that's a selling point. So I agree with Brett. It's not a killer. It's going to wound it though, because the guys who are enjoying indies on the Switch, right? But they're like, God damn, I got to pay $30-$40. I've done that too. I've seen some indie games, like I think I saw Hollow Knight and I wanted to play it and I was gonna get it on the Switch, but it was $30. And then Sony was having a sale, it was like $9, and I was like, no brainer. I just bought it on PlayStation. But you're gonna have a system that's way more powerful than the Switch, that's handheld, and you could dock it, and it's gonna output 4K, and you can play that game. And Gaben is gonna put up a sale. It's like, oh, there's $3.99, and you just be like, no brainer. You just play it on there.
Yep.
And then God help them if somebody comes up with an emulator for the Switch.
Oh man.
That's gonna be rough.
That'll be nuts.
I'm just thinking about that.
Well, I'm not gonna say nothing, but there's an answer for that. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Oh no!
All right, man.
I just gotta say, and I'm
go ahead,
not
bro.
endorsing this, but this thing is a pirate's best friend.
It's gonna be awesome. I mean, I want to put my PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, all my stuff on there.
That's it. I'm gonna hit up our boy Jose Polanco, man. Hook it up with some retro art, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna
Definitely
be
load
crazy.
that.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
That's another thing. It's gonna hurt. Like Nintendo Switch Online, you're getting those booty ass games. You could put the whole Nintendo library in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. You know?
Who cares about Nintendo releasing their classics anymore? Anybody?
Right?
No.
Crickets.
Yeah, no, but you're
That's
right.
not the one.
Yeah, but you're right. It's a good point. It's like, all right, hey, buy Hollow Knight for $60 on Nintendo, or buy it for $2 on fucking Steam Deck.
Crazy. It's crazy.
All right, man. Move on. Next question. This one is from, who is this? Eurocar 9.
Who that?
Who them?
There's a guy from
him?
Craigslist.
All right. So his question is, can we contribute most? Ooh, I think that may be the key word here. Can we contribute most of the excitement for a Steam Deck to the Nintendo Switch?
Most of the excitement.
I think some of it for sure, because people are looking at this like, that's what I want this. I think people are like, that's what I want the Switch Pro to be. So I think definitely that's a good chunk. I don't know. I don't think most. I disagree with that part, but I think a good chunk of it for sure.
I interpreted the question to mean if Nintendo didn't break into the market by making a portable console viable, would this be a thing? Right?
Yeah.
That's how I interpreted this question.
Chris, I talked to Eurocar9 earlier, and yes, that's the correct interpretation.
Oh, I got it right.
Oh, you got it right.
Right.
Again.
Well, there was others out there already. There was tablets. A lot of tablets are doing this.
No, but Nintendo Switch really took shit to the next level, man. You know, like people are like, oh shit, I can plug this into my TV and just take it out whenever. I can take this shit to rooftop parties. Excuse me, you know, like
it's funny. It's funny because nobody said that. Hey, I can do that shit with the PlayStation Vita.
Well, Sony didn't do it right. That's why, you know.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo Switch definitely gets some credit for this for sure. You know, as much as it pains me to say that shit, you know,
you don't need to be the first. You just need to be the one that's the most well known. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, they were the first to do this, to do like the hybrid, like console handheld, and then unify their system. But like to make this viable, like nobody thought it was viable. As a matter of fact, like you know, as much as I would like another Vita, it's not going to happen.
No.
This is going to do a handheld. So for Valve to take this step, it's only because Nintendo took it already, and they could go, hey, they did that, like we could do that, but don't lock down the dock or anything. Just let's take their learnings and just, you know, take it to the next step. So
I have to 100% agree with that. And as somebody who, when vouching for the Switch as the underdog, constantly kept hearing, nobody gives a shit about a handheld system you can dock. Like I fought that uphill battle. So yes, I can tell you there was a ton of people who didn't think it was a viable thing. The market was not proven. There was a lot of people who had their doubts, and Nintendo proved it. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess that's a fucking thing." So they definitely paved the way.
Yeah, you have to give Nintendo credit.
I joke because, you know, it's obviously not going to be killing it, the Switch, but it's almost like the Switch was just digging its own grave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I agree with Chris. I don't think we'd have a Steam Deck if it wasn't for the Switch. And also, a lot of the people that are excited about it are only excited about it because Switch exists. Like we talked about earlier. Adam mentioned there's a ton of these devices that are like portable like with
portable PCs that you can just play your games on. Yeah.
Like the GPD Win. No one knows like what a GPD Win is except for like some hardcore people.
Is that the one Riku was talking about? Because he was like, "Hey, you should get this shit instead."
Yeah, you know, there was one.
I saw Riku yelling about something like, "Get this shit instead."
It's just they're expensive. That's the thing.
They're like,
and I wanted to get one, but I'm like, I can't see myself selling like $800 and.
Yeah, some of them are like a G.
Yeah, the higher end ones.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So I think, you know, I think the Switch is just a catalyst for this even existing.
No, I agree. Yeah,
and for people being excited about it.
Valve didn't go, hey, let's make a better Vita. They didn't think that. You know, they wanted to make a better Switch. You know, and you're right. People are excited. Like for me, I'm like, this is a better Switch. I want to get this thing. You know, very disappointed by the Switch. Piece of crap. But like this is the real deal, you know.
Yeah, like this is one, and I told you guys I hate docking my damn Switch. It's horrible, but man, this is something I could bring to. I could bring it into the break room in the office. It was like, yo, you ready to play some shit? Oh shit, here we go! Plug it into the TV.
Well, yeah, but
it'll look legit.
Well, like the Switch gave you that option, but this gives you even more options because it's like, let's say you shop on GOG or you do a Humble Bundle or whatever, it still work on here, right? And then, like you said, you figure out RetroArch or whatever, you get all your stuff running on here, so you got a ton of options. And then I don't know if you want to watch movies or whatever, you run your streaming services anyone you want because you have a browser. You could just sign on Disney Plus. You don't need an
xCloud.
And then Carlos is absolutely right. You have xCloud. You get on there. You could do what is it? View? What the hell's PlayStation's?
Yes Now.
Yes Now, not View. Sorry, that was the TV. PlayStation Now. You could do that, and or Stadia.
John Price, where
Shout
you
out to
at,
John
bro?
Price.
And not only that, I'm sure that this OS is not just going to just be just for games. I'm sure they're going to incorporate YouTube and Twitch and all kinds.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember,
absolutely.
that all comes down to money. We've learned that when the PS5 launched, and we're like, what was it? Was it Peacock that was on there? And there was no HBO Max, and we're like, what the fuck? Why is this because it all comes down to money and who wanted to pay up front to get their app on that new device that was out. So that's the same that's going to apply here. I'm sure we'll see all that. It'll be a little section. We click on it. It'll be apps, and we'll have all of that stuff. And who knows? Who knows? To what Brett was asking, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. Anything's possible if we do see a damn a Game Pass app on there, and we won't have to go through the web browser. It's right there.
Right. But if you're a power user, you have that right off the bat. You don't need to wait for an app.
Yeah, you don't really need to wait for
You
that.
want to use Google Docs? You can use Google Docs. You want to install Windows and use Microsoft Office 365? You can do that.
Yeah.
You can install Discord and chat.
Excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
You can chat on the Steam stuff. It's no.
Exactly. So you have all these options in a package that is literally a Switch, but a PC in your hand. So it's like that. That's a hell of a thing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Rockstar Table Tennis.
Hey,
there you go.
All right, man. Moving on to the next question. Also from your car, but also from a guy named Adam Fiveborough. Very interesting.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who that?
Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think these guys are shady. You
They're
know.
leftovers from MySpace. There's a lot of these guys that are still trying to figure shit out.
MySpace.
Right. So the question is, for those on the panel and you guys in the chat that pre-ordered the Steam Deck, what will be the first game you play on it? Adam Vale, let's go to you first. For no reason.
For the longest time, now, as you know, for the past 2 days,
Yeah, I
I've been
already
thinking
know.
about this. But for all the shit, see people, and I kept saying to myself, "What is it that I want to play on the go? What's the one that I definitely wanted isn't there? I know it's not there, but there is one game that makes me so happy. It's always made me happy. Ever since I played it, I got the platinum in it, and I was like, I love it. It's just comfort to me, and that's The Division.
Really?
And yes.
Not Rockstar Table Tennis.
No, because it's not on there.
Oh,
that's the thing. Like
okay.
that's what I mentioned.
Yeah.
It's not. They never made a PC version. I have to do a bunch of finagling to get that to
Yeah.
work. Eventually, I will. But right out the box, if I open it up and I get that new device smell, right? You know that smell, right?
Yeah,
You know that
yeah,
smell.
yeah.
I think when we saw Brad with his unboxing with his Xbox, he loved that smell. We all love that smell. So you get that new plastic right out of the factory. Got other chemicals.
Guess you're hard, man.
All up in my nose, and I'm
Guadalupe.
and I turn it on. And once I sign into my profile, my Steam profile, remember Division 2 didn't come out to it, but it's okay. I like Division 1 because it's New York. I know the streets. I love the layout, and it's there. And on this site, on the Proton, it says it works. That it's going to work on that system. I was like, this is it. So that's what I want. That's going to be the first game that I play. And if that gives me that feel, we've talked about it. It's that fun factor, just running around, cover shooters. I love that. I'm going to start all over. I'm going to play it all over again. And that will be my day one play right there.
Oh, shit.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. For no reason, again, Mr. Carlos, will be the first game you play.
I mentioned this during last show. It's for the shits and giggles. I'm gonna try Cyberpunk on it.
Damn it. That's my answer, too.
I just want to see
I'm
how
curious.
it looks.
Actually,
How
Carlos,
it runs.
it may be fully optimized by the time we get our shit. You know?
Yeah,
it
that's
might-
what I'm saying. That's the other thing. By the time we get it, I'm sure a lot of these, the bigger thing, your game. Like you just said.
Brett, by the way, you know that Proton site?
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3, gold. It's certified.
Yeah.
Hey, watch this be the only platform Cyberpunk works on.
Oh, imagine
That would be
that.
funny.
Yeah, Brett, what about you?
You
What's gonna
trust
be,
CD Projekt Red that much?
Like right now, like Cyberpunk right now, it says its status
It's
is
silver.
silver. It runs with some minor issues, and that's okay. That means there's probably some frame drops here and there and stuff.
Still runs better than PS4
Still
version.
runs exactly. There you go.
Anyway, Brett, what about you? What's going to be the first game you fire up on this thing?
Valheim.
Valheim. Ooh, intro. I wonder if it's on here.
Yeah, man. Like my PC is pretty ancient.
My PC?
I had some shit going on in my life. I don't know if anybody heard, but like upgrading my PC was not the top of my list, and I spent this shit's like 8 years old. Like I looked away for too long, and I looked back and the shit was ancient. So when Valheim came out, I genuinely, as a gamer, I couldn't play it. I don't know if you hear it in my voice how much that fucking bothers me to have a game I want to play and I can't play it. I buy all the systems for a fucking reason, and this thing has just remained out of my reach because my PC will just not run it well. So I already own it. I just can't play it. It's the one that got away from me. So not only am I gonna fucking play it, but I'm gonna play it in handheld mode. Goddammit.
I just looked up Valheim right now.
now?
I just looked it up right now. It says green native. I'm guessing this shit just runs right off the bat. You're good to go, native. Brett. You're good to go with Valheim, bro.
Yeah, native is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, native. Yeah, it's like beyond the other ones, you know. All right, Brian, first game you're gonna fire up on this thing?
I don't know actually.
Oh shit!
I have no idea.
Brian's gonna play Valheim with me.
Hey, Brian, by the way, your favorite game of all time? It's Gold.
Warframe?
Yeah, Warframe, yep.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, Warframe. It better be gold. That
gold.
shit's on everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that thing's coming to mobile as well.
Yeah, and I think there is
we got a question about
build of
that.
So,
So Brian doesn't know yet.
Idea. Nope. I'll probably just figure it out on the day.
Yeah, sounds good. Ooh, Doom Eternal's platinum on this shit.
yeah, I said, well, it better be. They put that shit in a commercial the little pre-advertising. They better.
All right, Chris.
I was giving it some thought because I have like a bunch of games in my backlog, but I've always wanted to try out GTA 5 mods on PC.
Ooh,
That's gold.
that's gold. That's gold.
So I think I would try that with all the crazy mods I always see guys doing to the game. Like try some of those. Put
So you
those.
put a
on there.
DeLorean and drive that on.
No, there's
There's a
already
real DeLorean already, yeah.
but-
Yeah, in the game. Oh, there again. Oh,
Yeah, there is already in there.
oh,
But
they did?
people
Oh,
allow
my
you
bad.
to drive like undrivable vehicles. Like there's another submarine in the game besides the one you get in the Jericho mission, and it you can't get it normally, but you can get it in a mod, you know. So it's all this crazy shit I want to try out.
There you go. Hey Manny, if you were to get it, what would be the first game you play?
Control.
Control.
Oh yeah, they showed up Control.
Yeah.
Because of all the fucking ray tracing and shit that game has, and
Ooh.
try it out in that I think it's the Foundry area where essentially in Digital Foundry found that almost every single version of that game would freeze up
Oh shit.
in that one
Oh,
level.
man.
It's literally the area with
I know what
the
you're talking
giant,
about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one area with a giant, like looks like a giant engine in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
And then also
Oh.
just to see if the ray tracing works on there, because they haven't actually said
They haven't talked about
any of
that.
that-
Yeah.
they haven't
on-
talked about any of that stuff working on there. I
This-
suspect it may not be on there, but who knows?
I don't
This
think
side
it
has
does.
I don't
it
think
as
it is.
platinum. They have it as platinum.
Platinum.
It's
Oh,
like is
damn.
that beyond native? Because I haven't seen
I
many
think I think
platinums.
native's probably the only one that's
Because
above that. You
when
know?
you hover, it says run perfectly out of the box.
Wow.
That's what it says for control.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, which
So-
means it's
platinum.
probably designed for the Linux system.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Good stuff, man. All right,
There
next question. You know,
What
slow about the
Portal?
Steam Deck. I told you there's a lot of Steam Deck questions tonight. All right. Oh, did I put together the wrong one? Hold on, give me a sec here. All right.
Portal 2 native, no surprise. Steam Deck. Left 4
Oh,
Dead should
Portal.
also be. Yeah, that should be native also.
Right,
Then.
yeah, it should be native.
All right. This one is.
Oh shit, you can play Portal 1
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, why wouldn't it play Portal 1?
because
That'd be
Portal 1's
weird.
not on any consoles.
Well, it's on PC
Yes.
though.
It's
No, I know.
it's on the consoles.
It's on,
Or are you
it's on
talking-
the orange box.
Yeah, it's an orange box game. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I need to let Morgan know that. He was
Yeah.
mentioned that.
All right. This next question, a sponsored one.
Whoa,
Oh.
what?
Mr. Romulan.
Mr. Romulan. Eh?
Originally from Mob Hits. All right. Since some Xbox and PlayStation games will potentially be playable on Steam Deck, is this a good thing for these companies?
Yes,
I
because
say
it
yeah.
gets because what is the reasoning why these guys are putting them on some place like a Steam, especially for somebody like Sony, so that they can get extra money off of a game that has already run its course.
Yeah.
So now they're going to probably make even more money off of this. But but again, you're not going to ever see exclusives coming day and date on Steam.
No.
It'll be
so-
like
yeah.
a year or two later. Or how long was it since
Shoot.
Horizon Zero? How long was it since Horizon Zero Dawn appeared on there?
3 years, I believe.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah, something
2 or
like
3
that.
years.
But not only that, there's still some games that I thought were time exclusive to Epic that still haven't made the jump over. Borderlands 3, I thought that was a year exclusive, and it's been a way over a year, and it's still not on there on Steam. And Division 2, that's not on there also. That's exclusive to Epic. I thought again that was just a time thing, but it looks like it's permanent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Call up
so,
Ubisoft.
yeah. So I don't think there's really much to go. Yeah, they'll benefit for sure.
Yeah, I don't.
Hades,
Especially
Wow.
Xbox, because Brett, remember we talked about it, because you were like, hey, Xbox needs to make a portable console. Here you go. They already got one. This is it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Last week I was like, I didn't make a portable. Boom, here it is. All right, fucking sweet.
That's it, man.
Oh, even a Halo Master Chief Gold. The Master Chief collection.
Oh, is
that
it
means it
gold?
runs better on this than it does on the regular Xbox. oh.
Oh, by the way, the clarification.
Sucker free
for-
Sunday.
Yeah, look free, bitches. Gotcha.
Clarification for what you guys were talking on the chat. Was it earlier today or yesterday? Halo Reach is $4.99 on Steam right now,
Yep.
but you need to own the Master Chief collection in order to play
A
it.
little
Are you fucking
caveat.
kidding me? Are you
No.
kidding me? That's some bullshit. I did not know that. Well, I don't own the other one. I mean, eventually I'll get it because I was holding off on this to find out if it was
Actually.
compatible.
I can look that up real quick.
Because here's the thing: it's not listed on this site.
$20. I mean, if you
It's not. It's not. Well, yeah, I'll definitely get it, but it's not listed as, for the Proton thing. But like you just mentioned, now if it's part of the Halo Master Chief collection, maybe that's why it's not listed because it's already listed in that. You know,
that's weird. Yeah, because it says you need this content requires the base game Halo Master Chief Collection on
so it's
Steam.
DLC. That's
North-
fucking bullshit.
Yes.
They should just say DLC. I didn't see anything.
No, it does have a DLC tag on it.
Like that. Oh fuck! See, that's why you don't do shit at 3 a.m.
That's how they get you.
See, I said you saw me. I sent that message. It was like ridiculous. Yeah, it was like 3 a.m. I'm trying to wake up Chris. I'm like, yo, it's not the baby waking you up. It's me. Now I need you to go up on Steam and go get this game, sucker.
Oh, man. All right. Move on. Next question here. This is from... Who's this? Okay, we're done with the Steam Deck questions for the night.
Whoa,
Thank-
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa!
Whoa,
There
whoa,
needs to
whoa.
be 10,000 more.
Yeah, right?
Isn't
So-
it crazy? Like we're talking about this, but we're like, what? First and second quarter. That's next year. We
Yeah,
got
yeah,
plenty of
exactly.
time,
I'd like to point out that is a fucking long
Oh, yeah.
pre-order date.
Yeah,
like
it is.
I've never I mean, you know me, I'm into the toy shit, and I've never heard of that. Like it's
Yeah,
like such a long pre-order. I mean, I'm glad at least it's only like $5 that they're only asking for to do it. But still, man.
Damn,
It's
think of the
crazy.
people that got third quarter. That's like toward the end of next year.
It's like literally a year from now.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right, so first question is from Black Mage, another one. All right, this one's a little bit of a lead up or follow up to the art question we got last week. This one is, what was the dopest instruction book / strategy guide in terms of art and content?
Ooh, I would say the Metal Gear Solid one, for Metal Gear Solid, for PlayStation. That had a really good bunch of stuff. Some of the Final Fantasy ones were pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the when Brady Games, I think it was Brady or Primo, I don't know. Whenever one of those companies started actually getting the key art and all the enemy art inside of there. I think that's when it did it. Like Kingdom Hearts had a pretty good one.
You're looking at your strategy guys now, aren't you?
Yeah, I have a couple of them up on my
Yeah.
my shelving back there. If you guys see over there. No, yeah, I would say Metal Gear, and then I would say any of the Final Fantasy games. Oh, Final Fantasy 9. Because Final Fantasy 9, what they did was if you bought the strategy guide, you also got the art book that came with it too. Like it was a full on art book that came with it.
Something that one was actually controversial, that strategy guide, because some of it you had to go to a website to get more, and when that website was taken down, that strategy guide didn't really work anymore. You know?
Yeah, the funny one about the Metal Gear one is it had a spoiler section, and
Yeah.
the only if you didn't want a full-on spoiler for the ending of the game and all the extras that you could earn, it was a section that you had to cut open.
Oh,
You
wow.
literally had to use a scissor to chop up the edge of it in order to see those spoiler pages.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Madam.
What?
Strategy
you were talking
guides.
about-
Strategy
oh,
guides with art, with good art.
I've only owned two that I remember. There's only two. One was for Forza Motorsport when the very first one came out, because I wanted to know all the cars and see all the specs and stuff, and I had a racing wheel. And the other one was for Grand Theft Auto 4, because there
Those
was
don't
so
have a
many.
lot of artwork in those ones.
Yeah, but the Forza did, because they had all the cars and all the pictures of the car, and it was thick. It was not a thick book. So that was it. Those are the only two I've ever owned. That I can remember.
I could name a bunch of old ones, but I'm gonna go with something a little bit more recent that Manny got me, I believe, for my birthday or something. It was the Mega Man 11 strategy guide. Beautiful stuff in there. Beautiful big pictures of all the enemies, and also just a very good strategy guide in general, because that game, like other Mega Man games, has different paths you could take and stuff. So really good, well done. But I really wanted it for the pictures. That was my thing, and it smelled really good too. You know, which is always a plus. All right, Chris, strategy guides with great art.
I'd say it's hard to remember back, because like I know Demon Souls came with a book that was defective, right? The binding was bad,
Yeah.
but the art in there was very nice. And I remember that you had to do some bullshit. I never did it, where you had to rip off, like, I think the cover to send it to the to Atlas, so they could give you another one.
Oh,
I never
shit.
did. I just said fuck it. I just fixed it myself and kept it. In recent memory, I'd say the book that Nintendo put out for Breath of the Wild. They did two books. They did like a strategy guide, and they did the creating a champion, and those books have nice art in them.
Nice. Brett, strategy guys with nice art.
I never really used strategy guides.
Oh boy. Nothing. No special
He's like,
Zelda
oh
thing.
boy. He's like, oh
No,
boy.
like
Whoa.
Oh boy.
it's just a thing when I was a kid. Like, I had enough money for a game and a strategy guide, or two games. And, you know,
Guys, you guys were pricey. Yeah, like $20 or more.
Yeah.
They weren't cheap.
Yeah, they were like magazine things.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
sure.
magazines. Yeah. No, that makes sense. So I want to hear it from the younger guys. I don't even know if they had strategy guys by the time you guys were born.
They don't know about that shit.
Brian, strategy guys, were they even a thing?
They were a thing. I just never had them. So I'd never seen the point of them.
Yeah. And Carlos.
Again,
Oh, go
also-
ahead, Brian. Yeah.
I was always in the mindset of like I like playing the game, and I like the social aspect of games back then. You know, like you get a new game, and then you're there at school, you're talking about with your friends and what they did, and say, oh yeah, they tried this thing. Okay, cool, I'll try that thing, and that was the strategy guide for us. It was just what the other kids did. So, just never seen the need of it. It's like, no, why spoil it for yourself? You know, like why be told all the secrets and all the stuff like that? Like,
Okay, that's
more
fair.
fun just
dude, exactly.
getting
Hold
it for
on,
yourself.
Yeah.
Brian. I agree completely. Question for you: do you think you grew up that way because you didn't have a lot of strategy guides, or you didn't have a lot of strategy guides because you grew up that way? Because I think for me it was I never really had a lot of money, and so I really learned to appreciate, like talking with friends and trying to suss out the secrets yourself. And so eventually I was just like, I don't even want these things. But
I grew up with Nintendo Power, and
Yeah.
that already threw me
That's
into the
that in
world
there, and then
of
EGM
guides.
and Game
Yeah,
Fan,
and I'm
Game
like-
Informer, they would all have those. So we
Yeah,
just took
I
it to
got
the
it.
next level. It's like, okay, let's get the full strategy guide. And by the
Exactly,
way,
because
the unwritten kind of rule about strategy guides is you don't really crack it open until you beat the game. Then you use a strategy guide to see what you may have missed. You know.
I would use it if I got lost. If I was lost or stuck, that's the only time. I wouldn't run through it first. I'm like,
I
know
never
every
used
door
them the
to
first
open.
play. Yeah.
The main reason I would actually really buy the strategy guides for the most part was actually for the artwork. So like if I was, because at least in those days they weren't even in the habit of actually releasing like art books
books,
or
they weren't.
anything for the games. So the closest thing you got was any of the strategy guides that would come out.
Yeah.
So
to be honest, that was actually my primary thing. I wanted the art and then the strategy afterwards.
Yeah, so like again, like I said, like games for like Final Fantasy and a bunch of the other ones that I ended up buying them for. I was usually buying them specifically for the artwork that was in them, and not fully for the strategy part of it.
Yeah. The art was definitely my main draw. But then, like I said, I wouldn't even look at them until I beat the game anyway.
But again,
for the strategy part.
Again, it also took a while for the strategy guys to get to the point where they actually had decent art, because a lot of times they were just using this, at least when the 3D stuff was coming along, they would just use the shitty 3D art in there. They weren't using any of the concept stuff, but at some point it got a lot better, and I was like, oh, this one, that's why I would always look at them. I'm like, what does the strategy guide look like? Oh, okay, this is nice. I'll get that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I stopped buying strategy guides. Is the art stopped being good eventually. Not only that, but like the actual strategies were bad, because originally strategy guides came out after, like a little bit way after the fact, right? So the newer strategy guides came out on the same day, but they would have information there that was already taken out of the game during development.
Yeah, or there's like for Final Fantasy X. There's like a bunch of errors inside of it that are all over the place as far as enemies and things like that.
I remember that. That was annoying. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Anyway, again, to me, Try You Guys kind of complimented the collection of gaming magazines I already had. It's just a perfect thing, because I collected all those gaming magazines back in the day. All right, Carlos, Try You Guys ever mess with them?
I think the only ones that I ever messed with were the Pokemon ones. Not because of the art, but because of the strategy.
Yeah.
And if you can click on my little thing.
Let me see here. What's going on? All right, click on it.
Touch other people's little things.
Oh, hey, there you go. Nintendo Power Pokemon Gold version. Dope. That's what I'm talking about. The only guide from Nintendo.
Yeah, those came like really well detailed. It gives you the layout of the map, all the Pokemon. It was really good.
Yeah. By the way, Manny, you see, Carlos is the guy you wouldn't lend your books to. Look at the terrible condition he kept it in.
Oh no, I have Nintendo Power books that are way older than that, in my storage, and those look better than that book. Those are like 30 years old.
All right, man. This ain't a roast of Eurocar 9, man.
I've roasted that motherfucker.
Who's this Eurocar 9 person?
Manny, he's the one that just unsubbed right now. See, so thanks a lot.
Yeah, he's unsubbed. And by the way, Carlos, I gave you the benefit of that. When I first time, I was like, "Oh wow, Carlos kept a lot of notes in there. Look at all those things sticking." Oh wait, those are the pages. Ooh.
Oh no. Go back.
All right, go back. Oh my man, let's go. All right, so Carlos, for you guys listening, he actually pulled out notes that he kept in there. That's good. That's good, Carlos. All right, I give you a little bit more credit now. Because I thought those were pages that were ripped. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 runs perfectly.
Oh shit!
That's the thing. I think of all the people that are gonna replay games just for the experience on that.
Man, I want to take out some of the old strategy guides now.
You'll pull out it's fun. Yeah, some of the strategy guides I still have I have the ones from Kingdom Hearts.
Oh shit!
I have
there you go, Carlos.
Final Fantasy X. I have I think the last no, not the Last Guardian, Shadow of the Colossus, and I have what was the other one? I have Ico.
Oh shit!
The one with that shitty ass cover. Yeah, I have that.
All right. By the way, I even have a strategy guide for Final Fantasy 13. The art was really nice in it.
Oh wait, that's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one.
That's Lightning's game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever play the fancy remaster they did on that?
I did not. I only played them the original ones. Oh no, Manny, that was a strategy. That was you were doing the correct battle theme. Yeah,
it's Lightning, right? That's the Lightning game. Yeah.
No, I mean that's all the 13 games. No,
but I'm saying that's all the Lightning games.
Yeah, the Lightning games. Yes, yes.
12 is the one. The 12 is the one that had the. No, 12 is the MMO.
Yeah, that's the MMO. Yeah.
The other one, the last one for I think it was PlayStation 2.
Yeah, 12 was the last one
12.
on PS2. Yeah, great game, too underrated. All right, moving on here. I don't know if we've answered this one before. I feel like we have. Like, what is your favorite handheld? I think we've answered that before. I'm not sure.
No, I don't think we've
All right,
been
so
asked that.
we could run through it. Adam, you already know, man.
It's got to be well.
He's
Do
gonna
we
pull it
know?
out right
Do
now.
we know? I mean, yeah.
He's gonna pull out. He's gonna pull out a handheld. By the way, not.
Yeah, this is a handheld.
There
I
you
bought
go.
my, this is my
Game Boy.
1989. Yeah, my Game Boy. I was
Game
playing it
Boy.
earlier today. Motocross Maniac, Madness, or whatever. Always blank out on that, but it was an awesome Konami. Good racing game, but yeah, I love it. I love this thing. It's something about it. Thick. It just works. It just brings back a lot of memories.
Whoa. Yeah, I'll jump in.
handhelds.
My answer is that too. Like, even though the best handheld I ever owned was the Vita, my favorite is that original Game Boy, the green screen and shit. You know, that right. The buttons and the D-pad felt so good.
It just feels good. It just feels good.
Yeah, no, it's great. That's my favorite handheld. I love that thing. All right, Manny, what about you? Favorite handheld?
Yeah, I would have to go with the same one.
Yeah, the Game Boy.
Go with the first. The first legitimate handheld.
That's right. Yeah.
There's a connection today with this.
Uh-oh.
My kids were watching the new Space Jam, which is now officially a video game movie. And right at the beginning, it goes back to 1989 where LeBron is playing with this and his dad takes it away. And it's like, no, you can't play with these things.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he throws it in the trash. And my
should have thrown that movie in the trash.
They were like, you have that, don't you, Daddy? You have. I was like, yes, I do. I went running upstairs. I put batteries in it, and it was like, yes, and it still works.
Oh shit.
So yeah, but they show it. But I'm sure a lot of kids watch them like, what is that? I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
What is he holding? That looks like shit.
That's funny. All right, Carlos, favorite handheld.
It's a difficult one for me. I enjoyed the Game Boy Color a lot. I enjoyed the Vita a lot. The PSP, the Game Boy Advanced was great. But
shit.
I think what I'm gonna have to go with is all right. So showing
Uh-oh.
visually got
Yeah, visually good. Bibaporu. Oh, there he is. He's pulling out the 3DS. There it is.
3DS.
Open it up.
Yep. I have a few of those over there.
There we go. Nice. That's the XL, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, that's the
That's
XL, and
Good
it's got great games, and it's got like it's one of the first handheld devices that did a lot of great ports of older games. You know, it had some Final Fantasies on there. It had a lot of those types of games.
It's a good one for modding because I mod that and I put a bunch of all my Game Boy, all my Super NES, all my NES and Sega and all those games, and it was great to have it on the go and just flip it up. It's not too big, nice size screen, control layout's great. So yeah, I agree. That's a good one. That's
Get that Bibaporu back on stream, bro. All right.
I noticed that the pile is getting as time goes on. There's more consoles that get piled into there.
Wait until the Steam Deck gets there.
Oh shit!
No.
All right, Brett, favorite handheld.
I'm kind of like you. I actually want to say the Switch because technically it's the most proficient, obviously because it's the fucking newest one, and you know you can multiplayer with it and all that. But honestly, like the one that has my heart, Game Gear, man.
Oh, Game Gear, let's go.
Game
Dude,
Gear.
like,
Man, that ate batteries.
Let's go.
Yo, dude, yeah.
Oh yes.
They weighed 9 pounds, took like 6 AA batteries, and had a battery life of about 14 to 17 minutes.
You know?
Thinking. Like, dude, you walked away like you would die like unplugging it from the wall and walking from one outlet to another one. That thing had like no goddamn batteries. But like you're like, oh man, I can play my weird kind of green Game Boy, which I do in fact love, but you're like sitting there like leaning against the window of a car, like trying to like catch the light right to be able to fucking see Mario. And on the other hand, you had this brightly lit full color display mini Sega, right? Just right there. I mean, it was, as a kid, I'd be like, well, that one's definitely better. It's superior in just about every way.
Yo,
Did you get
You
the
remember
Nomad?
you remember the TurboGrafx 16, man? Like the handheld version. That
Oh,
shit was
well,
great.
yeah,
The Express.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
wanted one of
looking
those so
for 'em.
bad.
Yeah, I
gotta
saw
be
one of my
rich.
friends had it. He was playing.
Adam, I'm surprised you didn't throw that one out there.
That was $600, man. What's it? We had a friend who had it, but I couldn't
Yeah, I had a
afford it.
friend like, yo, when I saw Splatterhouse on that shit, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Because think about it, that was the first where you can take the cart, the little carts, literally little carts, out of
cue
your main
card.
console and take it where you want to go. You didn't have to buy a completely different game.
That was wild, man. Right,
Doogie Howser had it.
Brian,
Hey,
what is your
do you-
favorite?
wait,
Oh, go
wait,
ahead, Brett.
Do you think Steam Deck is really just paying off our unrealized dreams of that?
Yes.
Since none of us ever had it, we're like, dude, I just want to take my Sega game. I want to play it at home. I want to put this thing. I want to take it with me.
I'm gonna put Splatterhouse on that shit and Bonk's Adventure, man.
Oh,
Let's
that-
go.
That's what we-
Just to relive those memories that I wanted as a kid. You know, I saw Bonk's Adventure, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
You know. Oh man, Brian, what's your favorite handheld, and why is it the N-Gage?
Oh,
It's actually not the N-Gage.
Oh shit!
Big surprise. It was really good though. N-Gage was the Vita before the Vita. Yes, I did say that. Deal with it.
By the way, Brian's not being unironic. Him and his boys loved the N-Gage back in England.
Yo, N-Gage was good. Like, it had everything that you could want in a phone. Like, you could play games, like PS1 quality games on there. You could, like, emulate some stuff in there as well. So, it's quite nice. Yeah. And, of course, it had, like, the cool social games. So, you can play, like, games at the same time as other people in, like, a lobby. So, yeah. It really did have, like, a lot of the things that we would soon come to see as standard these days. So that's pretty cool.
Wasn't it a phone? Didn't it have a phone
Yep.
feature? Yeah, because
Well,
I
it was
knew
a phone.
It was a phone.
it was
For
the
the
phone.
Engage.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because well, man, you remember Rocket when I met her? She had that, and I'm like, oh, I've heard of this. I never seen. She's like, I love it. I play all these games. I'm like, but that's phone games.
Yeah, but
Like,
you remember how the phone would work on it, right? It didn't
Nope.
work like you held it like you didn't hold it sideways like you would hold a normal like iPhone or anything like that. You had to hold it like this, like flat against your head, and that was the phone part of it.
that's
It was weird.
Anyway, Brian, go on.
Yeah, I'd say it's the Game Boy is my favorite.
Oh, my man.
I'm trying to think if Game Boy Color or just Game Boy, like the
Probably
Age
Game
one.
Boy.
Probably Game Boy Color.
The funny thing about the Game Boy is that how long it actually lasted. Like
It did. It lasted a long
Like-
time.
think about it. Game Boy was only becoming color in 1998,
Yeah,
and that had lasted from like the 80s.
that's right. 1989. Yeah.
So 1998, they were only just squeezing it, doing color Game Boy Color games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right when the Pokemon games started coming
Yeah,
out.
that's right. Yeah. So Game Boy Color.
That's I think the first Pokemon
games
was
were
on.
What happened,
The
Brian?
first
was on the Game Boy.
Yeah, the first
Like-
Pokemon game was on Game Boy, but Pokemon Yellow, that's
that
the
was
Game Boy Color
Color.
one.
Yep.
All right.
Because I remember they did special edition Game Boy Colors with a Pikachu on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
dude, Color Game Boy, like Color Game Boy and Pokemon was like, oh, holy shit, that was the business. They got that and connector cable. Oh damn! It was awesome. You knew anybody else who played Pokemon?
Remember those infrared little things that you had to point at other Game Boys to do transactions? I forgot what, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you could trade. You could
you
trade
could
it.
trade Pokemons.
Yeah, like the as I remember, the Game Boy Color had one on the top. It was like a little infrared system that you could face the two Game Boy Colors at each other and trade stuff. But back in the days before that, the original Game Boy, and Adam could show it, on the side of it was the expansion port.
Yeah.
And you had to use it, and it came with a cable that you could connect to the
I
another
still
Game
have
Boy.
that. I have that cable too. Somewhere in one of my cable drawers. It was like a thick little cable. Yeah, played. Used to play Tetris. That was the only other game I would play with people. We played Tetris.
Yep.
Tetris
The thing
is
was
shit.
fairly useless until then. Like that was okay. Story time, kids.
Yeah, let's go.
So back in the day, they had the charge to the connector cable, but it really didn't do anything for the most part. And then all
Yeah,
of a
it
sudden,
was-
fucking
It wasn't used for many games. It, for the most part, it was used with Tetris. But then after that, I don't
no,
remember
it was
any
one
other
of, the,
ones.
one of the millions of things Game Boy came out with to build your Game Boy Voltron that like half of them just went unused. Like the screen magnifier, like bought one, never fucking used it.
What about the radio adapter? It was like to catch the FM
Yeah,
radio
you could play
tuner.
radio on it.
Yeah,
radio
I had a
tuner.
little printer that came off it.
Yep.
Okay, so anyway, it was a fairly unused feature, and then all of a sudden, Pokemon, this game Pokemon comes out, and you're able to the way that they kind of pitch to you is like the Monster Hunter, Monster Rancher games, those kind of things where kind of big, gaining some traction kind of stuff, like not quite Pokemon, but Pokemons. But anyway, they're like, it's an RPG where you can capture creatures and then battle them against each other. And you're like, oh, well, that's fucking dope. I'm going to have to, I can't find my cable anymore, so I'm going to go buy another $15 month. I'm going to walk around with that shit in my pocket until I see somebody else walk by with a fucking Game Boy. And as soon as they're there, you're like, yo, you got Pokemon? Yeah? I'm like, let's fucking go. Let's fight. Come on. Yeah. And that actually, kids, is the reason the anime was just so weirdly random about just walking down the street, seeing somebody else, be like, oh, I randomly challenge you. That shit happened. Like, somebody on your block had Pokemon, you see him run down the street, like, hey, motherfucker, come back here. He'd, like, run in the chance or, like, catch people in the school halls or shit like that, or after school, and battle Pokemon.
You're a lot younger than some of us, because I don't remember any Pokemon shit, because I was already too old.
I was
for that
was
stuff.
out.
No, dude,
That was
I was like
past time
16.
for me.
I remember playing Pokemon.
Oh god!
Hey, the first one, none of that kitty shit had come out yet. That's why I only played the first one and then dipped out on like the subsequent everything until now. Like I loved the concept, but then all of a sudden it started coming out with the anime and all that shit. And it
You're
was
this
just
horrible
super
bully.
kitty.
You're just imagining you as this horrible bully going, "Hey kid,
Here,
you gonna battle
no.
me now?"
Pokemon game.
No. It was like I took summer school so I could take driving ed without having to like take a class out. Right? Long story. I just wanted to actually drive. That's not really a long story at all. So between breaks, like go in there and we'd all kind of like just hang out in the little cafeteria area, and we'd all bust out our Game Boys, and you'd see somebody like playing Game Boy, like, hey man, what you got? What you got? Pokemon over there? Come on, bring it. Let's fight. Like it wasn't like a hey kid like slamming up against the locker like
Battle me.
It reminds me of
you would call motherfuckers out, and it was this weird little culture that developed around it, where like it was super competitive. Like you'd see like a bunch of Pokemon toughs just hanging on top of a lunch table, all playing Pokemon, and they're all like ridiculous level, and they catch you playing and be like, I want to challenge you. Like, God damn it, man! You're gonna kick my ass.
Pokemon Toughs. I don't know if I've ever heard that said before. Pokemon Toughs.
There was the God crew, there
I
was
guess-
the Metal crew, and then there was the Pokemon crew.
Those motherfuckers
And
are
that's
rough.
where me and my dogs used to hang.
So it reminds me of on the 3DS. This is connected to what you just said. This is probably the upgraded version. Remember they had that nearby little feature that was on the 3DS, and if you were playing a game where you open up the app, it'll show you all like within the few blocks radius of other people if they had it.
I thought that was a Vita feature. Near.
Vita had Near.
They had near, and it was just, but it was on. This was on
like Street Pass or something.
Yeah,
Like,
Street
wasn't it?
Pass.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
Street
like
Pass, okay.
Street Pass. It was that thing. It was definitely called something like that. But I remember opening it up every once in a while, or I would just get all these gifts, alarms, and it's like, oh, you passed somebody that lived on that block who also has this game, and because of that, you get a gift. Now send that person. You could see their name. Send them like a friend request and play with them and stuff. And I was like, oh, kind of interesting. So it's sort of like what you were saying, Brett, but without actually interacting, physically. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna battle because then he'll see I live 2 blocks from him, and
I
that
used to
could
turn that
happen.
shit off, man. I don't want nobody knowing where I live.
Yeah, it could be creepy. Yeah, the creepers could have definitely used it.
Oh man. Anyway, Chris, favorite handheld.
It's toss up because I had a great time with GBA. I mean, I've played some great games on
That's a good
GBA.
one.
But I tell you what, when I got PSP and I figured out you could rip movies and stuff and play it on there, because that would make my rides to work way easier back then.
PSP.
I didn't have time because I was working so much. I couldn't. At the time, I was watching 24 religiously.
Yes.
So I would
Based on a true story.
I would get them and then
Yay.
put them on and watch on the subway, right? Going to work.
This was when you worked for Nintendo, right?
No, it was before that.
Oh, before that.
Before
Oh
that.
shit.
Yeah, so that was amazing that you
And
could
then
do
I
that.
introduced Adam and Chris together, and then something else happened.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah. Something else happened.
That's it.
I got upgraded. That put it on a new tier, right?
Yeah.
So I say it's on there. So I mean, yeah, PSP, man, it was
It
so
was
good.
great. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. All right, moving on. Next question is from another sponsored question
Sponsoring.
from Mr. Romudith. Black Mage.
Romulan.
Black Mage. He one of his bonus
Romulan.
questions here. Mr. Romulan. Right. He goes, Tony made a quick comment last week about Splinter Cell Mobile, and he just wanted to know what everybody's takes are on major companies putting AAA/flagship games on mobile platforms. Just to be clear, not referring to Game Pass, but more so PUBG Mobile or the new Diablo game that's being mobile. So yeah, what do you guys think about like AAA franchises getting the
Well,
mobile
I'll
treatment?
just say this real fast. As long as they don't replace the console and PC ones, like what we're complaining about is like that mobile version of Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
That's all the Splinter Cell we're getting.
Yeah, and that's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Is that what's going to be announced tomorrow?
Oh, you will see what's gonna happen tomorrow. You know.
Yeah. So that's what we're really pissed about. It's like we're getting these mobile derivative games, and it's like, oh, Command and Conquer. Well, you got a phone, don't you? It's like, no, I don't want to play it on my phone. I want to play it like I used to play it on the PC, or I want to or put it on a console. I'm not playing it on my phone.
You know.
How dare you bring up Command and Conquer, Chris?
because
how
they-
dare EA make it mobile? How about that?
No, I'm just saying, how
Yeah.
dare you tear off that? Yeah, those
How
are
dare
painful
you.
memories.
I remember Command and Conquer. Like I remember, it's just the same thing. I wouldn't play any RTS on a phone. Like I don't want to play it that way. And it's like I want an actual Splinter Cell. I want to play with Adam and stuff like we play Division or Ghost Recon. I want to play it like that. I'm put it on my iPhone and play. Like, fuck that. That. So if there's a parallel, if you're saying, oh, there's a mobile Splinter Cell and a real Splinter Cell, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to say real. Then that's fine. But if you're replacing the actual one that we want to play on the PC and consoles with all you get is a mobile one, and you're gonna just tell me, well, you own a phone, fuck that.
Yeah, that's pretty much my answer too.
It's not the same experience. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like if you're gonna make a mobile side game, go ahead. I don't care because I don't fuck with mobile gaming. But if you're replacing the
Yeah,
series
don't
that we
replace the
love,
primary. Nope.
then I got a fucking problem. Nobody wants to play Splinter Cell on trash ass mobile. Come on, man. That's just an insult.
Well, they act like I believe they think that they're testing the waters. Although I can't for the life of me figure out why, because it seems like they're like, well, we're gonna gauge whether or not there's still an active audience for Splinter Cell by releasing a garbage fire of a mobile game, and if that does well, maybe we'll talk about investing in a real game. But or we don't know if we still have an audience for this game, so we're going to release a garbage fire mobile game and go from there. It's the direct to DVD of video games now, and once you go there, you don't actually come back because the two audiences have no intersection.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, you're right.
I sort of disagree with Brett's analysis somewhat, but not for the reasons that everyone is thinking. I don't think that they put them on mobile to test the waters. I think they put them on mobile because, again, that's where the majority of the money is. We can sit here and talk about, PlayStation 5 is doing gangbusters to numbers, Ratchet & Clank's top-selling game on PSN. That's all well and good, but compare that to the revenue that the mobile games rake in, it's
nothing.
It's nothing. Yeah.
It's nothing. So these people are just putting them on there because that's where the money is. They don't care about anything but the money. If GTA 5 could run on a Samsung Galaxy,
or on a Switch,
they would do so. I was tempted to, but no, that's bad memories there. So yeah, it's just where the money is. There's nothing else. That's why Warframe's coming on mobile because again, there's money there.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
the install base is massive, so it just seems like shoot, we want to
Exactly.
swim in those waters. There's plenty of fish. Let's do it.
Massive install base, and they make tons of money. People will be surprised at just how much Pokemon Go makes. I think that Pokemon Go makes way more money than GTA 5 does at this point.
Oh, man.
Because of the sheer amount of transactions that Pokemon Go goes through. And that game is actually younger than GTA 5. Dear Lord.
Well,
That's
the crazy
depressing.
thing is, if you ask just any Joe Schmo, those things like Pokemon Go, that game's been dead for years.
Yeah.
But no, people still fucking the install base is so fucking big that a game like that can keep going in a significant way with not even knowing the people that play it.
It's insane. Because remember that one summer it just took over the whole world, you know? And then it
Well,
just kind of dropped
everybody was
off.
going, driving off and doing that whole
But it dropped
thing.
off in the news cycle, not in in terms of gaming.
Yep.
Well, that's
Hey,
because
man.
also people were walking on other people's properties looking for fucking rare Pokemon.
Yeah. Then we talk about that, like, yo, somebody's going to get shot.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no. There was this one
there
story
was
about like these kids that they were playing a game and then they had to be brought back to America by the Canadians because they crossed over the Canadian border. Didn't even realize it. You know, the Canadians had to bring them back. Some crazy shit, man.
Who was it? There was somebody from IGN that actually paid for a flight to go to another country just so
Wow.
he can collect all of them because he was only missing a handful of them.
Oh yeah, that actually happens. Like,
Yeah.
every now and
was-
then they'll do like a festival in like a random country. Like, there was one in like Blackpool or something here in the UK. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, no one wants to go to that shithole. But apparently, people flew in from the US like just to go to the festival and catch the
Wow.
Pokemon. Like, that's what they do. Like, it is scary how dedicated these guys are. Like, it is like these guys will fly across the world just to catch Pokemon for like 2 days and then
Well,
fly back.
Jesus.
We all know there's people that are just completionists. They just have to have them all for anything. It could be anything, baseball cards, it could be toys, or whatever. And when something like that comes in front of them, I'm sure they get that itch and they start freaking out. They're like, "Shit, I'm saving up all my checks. I'm getting on a flight. I'm going to what did you say, Blackpool? I'm going there to catch my Pokemon." So I'm sure there's.
I'm
nuts
going to
like that.
Blackpool catching Pokemons.
The only thing I know about Blackpool is NXT has WWE. They have a wrestling show out there.
I'm trying to figure out if I should be offended by that name, you know?
Blackpool?
Why gotta be black?
Well, I got to be black, you know?
All I know about Blackpool is that it's right next to Manchester, I think, or it's in the north.
Yo, that's
Oh, I know.
Deadpool's black brother, you know?
Blackpool.
Yo, is that Blackpool? No, it's Deadpool.
Isn't that where the Arctic monkeys are from? Adam, I mean Brian.
I have no idea.
He doesn't know what the fuck that is.
Come on, Brian.
He's like,
I've
now he's
heard
just
of them,
making
but-
up shit.
Yo, they got
They're
Arctic
pretty
monkeys,
good.
man?
Arctic
look it up.
Monkeys are pretty good. They have some good songs. A lot of people here would know them from beer commercials. For some reason, a lot of their music gets used. in beer
Interesting.
Oh, never mind. They're from Sheffield.
commercials. Chef, oh, they're rich.
All right.
Oh, probably.
That's it.
All right,
It's like
man.
the subs.
Sheffield.
Let's move on, man. All right. Epic Geezer, who's been joining us in the chat all night. What's going on, brother? Hey, brother,
You're so old.
games.
Where's my tea?
Right. Is there a game you have a love-hate relationship with? A game that makes you so mad that you uninstall it, then after a bit of time passes, you go back to it, love it again, and then hate it again.
Yes, I do.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
It just came up too. It's funny that he brought up. Perfect. It's Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh,
That
interesting.
shit pisses me
Really?
the fuck off. It's like the controls for the driving and stuff, but I love the combat, but I hate every time I have to get into the car and do the transform into a tank and fight the rifle. And I was like, fuck, I'm not playing that shit no more. And then on a PC, remember when they came on PC and
It was all fucked
like
up.
garbage and I deleted like fuck you motherfucker. And then I wait till it was on PS4 and I played it and then I got to the car parts. I'm like, fuck. And then when I saw this list of all the games, back to the damn Proton, and it said Batman Arkham Knight Gold, boom, I was like, gold. And then I went to CD Keys and I found it for $6 and I went and I got it. So then there you go. Now I'm gonna play that shit again.
Oh, man. All right.
There you go.
I'm just
You
going to
should
go
have went last.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you should have. That was great. I'm
Oh,
going
damn, my
to
bad.
go down the line here. Manny, you got anything like this?
Love-hate relationship game? No, I mean, no, I don't think so. I mean, usually the games that I get are sort of commit to. I mean, except for Lord of Shadow.
Oh,
when I just
man.
actually sold it. But yeah,
Oh,
I
you
don't-
didn't love that game. You hated it.
No, I hated it. It was
Yeah, there was no
gone
love
because
there.
There was no love. As soon as I finished that game, I let Tony borrow it, then I sold that
Yeah.
shit.
Carlos.
Ah, man, that's probably Halo for me.
Oh, Halo. Uh-oh.
I mean, it's only because of 343, to be honest. So I mean, I freaking Halo was my favorite franchise. It might have even topped Mass Effect back in the day, but I can't really say that now. Even with that unknown game, yeah, it's probably Halo. Even though I never hate. It's more I hate the franchise and I love it at the same time, but I hate it because I used to love it more than anything, any other gaming franchise. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm like Manny. I'm having a hard time answering this one because I either love games or hate them. There's no real like love hate, really. I get frustrated with some games, like fucking the last couple of Assassin's Creed games. I'm like, I love this game. Yes, I guess those count, right? Like I love the gameplay, love the worlds, but I hate how long they are. You know, but at least I know there's an ending. You know, it's like once I get to the end, the suffering is over. You know, so I guess those are about the closest. There probably is a legitimate answer. I just can't think of it at the moment. But yeah, I can't say Return because I didn't love that game at all. You know, it was just hate. Oh man! All right, Brett, love hate relationship with a game.
I don't. I also don't really have a love-hate relationship with games. I have games where I'll play and then I'll kind of be like, I'm bored, I'm done. And then I'll come back and I'll play more and I'm like, I'm bored, I'm done.
Yeah.
Especially online games like Fallout 76. I've played and trailed off and played and trailed off and played and trailed off pretty much consistently since it came out. There's been a few big Elder Scrolls Online spikes. Like I'll get it and I'll play it pretty hardcore for a month and they're like, okay, that was fun, and just kind of put it away and then get bored and not have anything else to do, pick it up and be like, oh yeah, I forgot how much fun this game is, and grind on it again for a month.
Sounds like me with turkey every year. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You start eating that turkey for Thanksgiving. You're like, man, this turkey's good. Why the fuck do I eat this more often? You eat somewhere like, oh, this is why, and then you don't eat it again for another year. You know?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
Oh man! All right, Brian, love hate relationship with a game.
I don't think I really have that because it used to be technically Warframe, but then I just said, no, I'm done with this, and then I never installed it since. Like I still have not installed it for like a year and a half.
Wow.
So, yeah, like when I said that I was going to stop, I meant I'm going to stop, and that's it. Like end of period, book closed, thrown in fire, done.
It's over.
Hey, Brian, what you had like 4,000 hours in that shit?
Something like that.
Man.
So, yeah,
It's over, Anakin. I've got the high ground.
Don't remind me of that film, please, Carlos.
Yeah. So Elite Dangerous has taken over Warframe for you, right?
That's the thing. I don't really hate it. I just love it. You know? It's nice and.
I'm just saying overall. I'm just saying it's like your game, right? Like right now, Elite Dangerous.
Yeah. That's my go-to because it's nice and simple, and it's very chill. You can play for like an hour, play for 10 hours, and make progress.
Nice. All right, Chris.
This is a hard one to answer because I don't have games that I bounce back and forth like that. Like either I'm all in, or I hate it, or it's like, or it's something frustrates me, I get bored, and I'm like, I'll come back later. Like Dead Cells is one of those middle games where I'm like, yo, fuck this shit, this bullshit. But I didn't love that game because with roguelike games piss me off. So I just wanted to beat it. Like I had to beat that game. I didn't want to platinum it. I just wanted to beat it. And I went back.
Yeah, hate finished. We called that.
I hate finished it. Yes, exactly. But I didn't love that game. There was no love making me go back to it. And then there's games I love, like the Resident Evil games, like 7, the two remake, 3. I didn't love, but I liked it enough. Platinum it.
Yeah.
The Village. And then there's games like it's just fucking trash. Like, and I just don't go back. I'm like, get this out of my system, out of my life. I'm done. So
same like me and with Returnal. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm done. By the way, I'm pretty sure you did too. I hate finished Resident Evil 6. That I hate finished.
Oh yes, I did absolutely. I didn't go for the Chivos in there. I played it on 360. I did not go for. I was like, fuck this game. I was done.
Trash. All right. moving on. Next question. Second to last question of the night, people. All right. This is also from Epic Geezer. Love that name, by the way. If you're going to be a geezer, you're going to be epic about it. All right. With PlayStation charging $70 for exclusives and other publishers slowly joining that tier, when will Xbox do it? Will Starfield be $70, or will they stick to $60 with all the revenue they get from Game Pass? They don't really need $70 because of Game Pass. That's what I think. They really
want
don't.
everybody on Game Pass. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't want to scare you with those high prices. They want to keep pointing. Look, $14.99.
And it gives them an advantage over PlayStation. Like, hey, those guys charge $70 for their exclusives. We don't. I mean, granted, they don't have exclusives right now, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But when we do get exclusives,
they'll be on Game Pass.
If you're not into collecting and you don't care about the whole rental system of these games, and go for it.
Does anybody here believe they'll go to $70? I really don't. I think they're going to stick with 60 this generation.
Yeah, I doubt it. Again, I just don't see why they would.
Yeah.
I mean, again, they are trying to push Game Pass, so there's no point.
No, there really isn't. All right, that's a simple one. None of us think they're going to go to $70. All right, and the final question of the night here. Actually, real quick, Chakzilla. He asked us, well, a question about platinum trophies, like was the easy ones, was our favorite ones. We've answered that before. We've had a long chat about that. So refer to those episodes. Right, last question tonight. This is from Chuko 2565. This one's specifically for Adam and Chris. As the breeders in this club here. All right. How do the dads on the panel balance video games and hobbies with their family lives? It's crazy trying to balance kids, spouses, working out, and slaying demons in Doom. So how do you do it? Chris, let's go to you first, man. You're the new dad, and then we get the veteran take from Adam.
There's a lot of compromise. There's a lot of days now where I don't get to play anything, because when you have an infant, it's just hard. It's just very demanding out. So I'll come home from work, like Kristen, watch her most of the day. I take care of her at night, and then you put her to bed. But then at that time I'm so drained, and it's either two things. Either A, I try to power through it and play a little something. B, sometimes I bring work home. So after I put her to bed, I'm working again, and then I don't get to play anything. Or C, I'm just exhausted, and I realize I don't got the fire anymore because I'm old, so I just pass out. I just
burnt out.
Yeah, so it's either one of those. But it takes a lot of your time, and you have to just try to enjoy yourself where you can. Just play a little bit. Like maybe I'll try to play more on the weekend or certain nights. Maybe it's a little easier for me to play, but it's not like before where I could just every night I could just play something. I can't do that.
All right, and Adam, I don't know how the fuck you managed to continue your old lifestyle with kids.
I really thought it was going to stop. I really thought it was going to stop, and it's just gotten worse. Especially with all the time I put with the coalition and reviewing games and then playing my own shit. I'm like, how am I doing this? And I'll tell you how. Fucking coffee. This is it. You stay up. You work out a deal with your wife, and you tell her goodbye. You will not see me next to you ever at night. I don't.
The thing with Chris, Kristen's also a gamer. I don't know about Adam, about his wife.
Kristen's wife is a gamer. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
No,
Adam's is not. Yeah.
No, she's not. So I have my 9-year-old daughter, and then my soon-to-be next month 5-year-old son. And my daughter, she is already at that age where she likes to spend more time in her room. She likes watching YouTube videos, the kid stuff, and she plays Roblox and those type of things. So she's in that world. 5-year-old doesn't care about all this, needs a lot of attention. Wants to play with his toys, and we go outside and do those things. So the only time I get to play is either when he's taking a nap and she's over at her friends or doing something in her room, then I'll jump in and play, because then my wife, she does her own activities. She has an Etsy shop and stuff, so she's always busy.
Nice.
And then at night, this is it. Usually my family will go to sleep around 8:30. You got to get the kids. My wife is an early bird, so she also goes to sleep at the same time. And then that's when I get to do all this stuff, whether it's to play games, watch horror movies, things I can't watch with the kids, that type of stuff. I tried to ease my daughter into a lot of games and things, and she wasn't really into. She's got Roblox, Among Us. She's into that world. Minecraft. She's not into just actual. She has a 3DS and stuff, and it just doesn't do it for her. And I was thinking of, this is a simple thing. Well, I'm going to get my OLED Switch. I'm going to give her the yellow Switch, and I think that would just end up under her bed. I really don't think she'd give a shit about it. So I might just sell it. I don't know, or just hoard it like all my other consoles. But that's it. You have to do the balance, and you have to have a wife that's cool with it. Because we have a cousin, and I have a cousin where he has to go to bed when she goes to bed, and there's a lot of people like that. It's like, we go to sleep, everyone goes to fucking sleep at the same time.
Man, Gustavo.
And,
No.
exactly, Gustavo.
No, well, that's our cousin. We're talking about our cousin. Now, of course, I know our cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the whole thing, and it's like I told him, and he could only play 1 day a week. 1 day. He's got 2 kids. 1 day a week, and that's it. That 1 day, and that's only like a few hours after work. So it maybe like 6 to 8, and that's it for the whole week. Yeah, and I can't imagine that. I was like, no, I can't do that. So I had to work things out with my wife. I was like, listen, this is my time. This is the only time I have. It's at night. I mean, I have a whole room dedicated. People don't understand. I got toys. I got other consoles. I got other arcade ones on the outside. I mean, this is the only time I get to just be me, and it's at night. So I'll do everything during the day. I'm not going to be the deadbeat dad who lives in the house and doesn't spend time with the family. I do all of that stuff. But when they all go to sleep, I grab and start drinking coffee. And I do this. We do the show. After this, I still stay on watching some stuff, buying crazy games, sending it to you guys in the chat at 3 a.m, and, finding out later that it's just DLC. That's the type of shit that I end up doing. But that's how you got to come up with that commitment. Now, if your wife is saying, no, you need to come to sleep when everyone else goes to sleep, then goodbye to your gaming, unless you can, wherever you work, you have a break and you can whip out a Switch or later on a Steam Deck or something. So that's when I do a lot of my Switch playing, though, is when I go out into the office every once in a while. Not so much now, but when I would just have to take it out, and I played through the whole game. Remember, I would take screenshots. I finished Diablo that way. I finished the Marvel Ultimate Alliance that way. I finished a lot of games, and I was just playing an hour from my lunch break, an hour a day for a few odd weeks or months. That was it.
There you go. All right, a couple of guys in the chat are actually talking about this. Bliss, our boy, Tumeke, he goes, pretty much once my daughter goes to bed and the wife and I aren't watching something, it's game time. So that's how he does it.
That's
and he says he goes to the gym during the day at lunch. So there you go. Good stuff there. Late night gaming.
Wait, look, here we go. This is my gym. Got my medicine ball.
Hey, there you go.
That's it. Let's do this.
Let's do it, sucker. Let's go. Adam's working out right there. That's how you do it. That's a proper technique, And Adam, you do your coalition stuff too during this time?
Yeah, I do that during the time. Same thing when I'm playing. That's why I really prefer when things start coming in. If I see a Switch version of the game, I was like, I'll do that one because then I can do that while I'm at work. I could do that. I have no issues. I can play it. I'm lucky enough that my manager at my department, he's also a big gamer. He also got. We were both clicking away for the Steam Deck and stuff. So when he sees me playing, he comes over to my desk and is like, "Oh, what are you playing now?" He doesn't bitch about it. So I'm lucky that way.
All right, good stuff. There you go, man. Medicine Ball. Who's this? Axel Giant. He goes, the only time I am able to game is when I work nights. That's how he does it. Hey, listen, there's a will, there's a way,
Yep.
All right, man. We're done here. Good stuff as always. So let us plug the things. So, Manny, you go first.
Alrighty. So, what we got is... and it's coming really soon, which is Static number 2.
Oh, shit.
Static number 1, but Static number 2 is actually coming really soon. I think on the 27th of this month. So at the end of the month, you get to play, get to read the further adventures of Mr. Static, and I'm probably gonna lay off of the other stuff now because it's actually been quite a while.
Yeah, I think what we should do is with those collections, probably advertise it for a good couple weeks, and then move on.
And just drop it. But I mean, obviously, I'm going to be doing the one that I always do because this is my main book. This is Excellence, which is out now. You can get the graphic novel, which I'm holding right in front of you right now, as well as issue 11 coming, and obviously the Kickstarter, which came along. And we got a really cool little special coming up in Skybound X #4, which is a story that I mostly drew.
Nice.
For excellence. So it's me essentially doing all the artwork with the exception of 2 pages and the cover. So it's going to be it's a fun stuff. Got some fun, cool looking characters in there that people might enjoy. But yeah, so that's coming up really soon.
All right. Adam, what you got, man? Coalition, all that stuff.
Let's see, what do we got? We were gonna cover, so over at AMC Plus, they are doing another AMC thing for The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And it was called Walking Dead Origins. And we watched the first episode. It was a lot of bullshit. It was just a lot of talking and stuff. Nothing worth mentioning. So we're still coming back August 15th. I think that's the date for the I Am Negan, so we can cover that. We got some more stuff coming up. Actually, one of the guys just did a review for the Plague Tale, but on Switch for the cloud, and talk about that whole experience of doing it on from the cloud to see how that works. So, I mean, it was pretty lengthy. He sent it over to me. I was like, we're talking like almost 1,200 words. I'm like, whoa. He's like, yeah, it's an experience. I was like, oh,
wait,
shit.
1,200 or 12,000?
12,000, my bad.
Damn, 12,000. What the fuck? That's a short novel right there. What the fuck?
I don't know. He went deep on this. He went deep. It's it's an experience that I did not want to do. Like when they started announcing, oh yeah, we have this, you can cloud. No. I'm not doing this shit. I want it on the device. I don't want to do all that for this handheld. No, that's not right. But he was open to it, so that'll be the first that we actually did over at the site, reviewing one of those cloud-based games on the Switch. So that'll be up tomorrow. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a fiasco going on with Arcade 1-Up and payment plans and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm still working that out because he sent me some more information for those who want to know. Yeah, the X-Men cabinet is out. You can pre-order. People bitching it's $700, but if you go to their website, there's payment plans. We're like, why do I have to pay to do a payment plan? Especially when you start comparing it to like what we see with the Steam Deck and other things in that price range. And yes, it's pretty much what's going on is these things are turning into more of a niche type thing to get. You have to be very dedicated to your nostalgia and these type of games if you're willing to drop down that type of money. Those days of like a $200, $300 version of these, that's done. That's not happening anymore. They're just releasing high-end models with the bells and whistles, the marquees, and the glowing decks and the stools. And people are pissed off because that's really out their price range. They don't want all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
crazy. All right, Carlos, man, what do we got?
Yeah, I Am Negan, August 15. It's coming back. Coalition.com. Make sure to stay tuned. We don't know what's gonna happen with Rick and Carl and the whole rest of the gang. Other than that, you can catch our review of Loki, the finale, Loki, the TV show on Disney Plus. It was hosted by Miss Dana Abercrombie and
Tony called it his show of the year. He said it was the best show of the year.
His favorite show ever. It's also we're joined by Mr. Joey Polanco and our very own Tony Polanco and Chris Seeley, where we talk about Loki. It's on the Coalition.com and the Coalition on YouTube and anywhere else you can get. I think Daily Motion. I think is
Daily Motion.
It's also Daily Motion.
Yeah. Where else can you listen to it? Like Spotify, right?
I don't know if he puts that. The I Am Negan's everywhere, but I don't know if he does that for all the shows.
Okay.
Because I do the posting on that one, but I don't know if he does for the other ones.
Yeah. So yeah, go check out that episode. Chris and I we go into that shit. We go into that show, man. We rip that motherfucker apart.
I go into.
Yeah, Carlos does too. As a matter of fact, nobody liked it. Dana was the only one that liked the episode. You know.
Well, a lot of people didn't like it. It got pulled for a second season, so someone's watching it and loving this. But I don't know any of those people. I don't know them.
Who are these people?
These people. Who are these people?
These are fictional people that don't speak English.
Yeah, Brett's not a fictional person. He's a real person. You know?
Yeah, he likes it.
Yeah.
You like it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
There you go, man.
You like it?
Yeah, you like it. You like it. All right, man. We're done here. So make sure you follow Throwdown Show on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and hit us up on Discord, where conversation is always crazy, man. This week, especially with that Steam Deck, man, that's when shit went wild in there, you know. But always good, always good. Follow us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show, and visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. If you're checking us out on YouTube and you enjoyed what you watched and heard, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when all our stuff goes live on YouTube. And yeah, that's it. Links to everything, as always, down below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez,
See you next time.
Chris Seeley,
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero,
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
One last thing, we got for those who like me, like into figs. This is a big week with San Diego Comic-Con and all that stuff. We got a lot of big reveals, exclusives. So you're into figs, keep an eye out to all your favorite sites, because a lot of stuff pre-orders going up.
Fig Newtons and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
right. You know, got to do that.
Figures,
I like AIDS.
action
Hey,
figures.
there you go. Brett Murdoch
Deuces, everybody.
and Brian Manjoma.
Loki is so good. I've not watched it yet,
There you go.
Oh man.
and I like Age of Ultron.
Oh, so yeah, you're not gonna like Loki then.
Yeah, that's been like a solid dig that like, yeah, this show's trash. That even an Age of Ultron fan won't watch it.
Damn. But it's a good movie though. Carlos.
Yeah, but the show's trash.
yeah, the show's terrible. All right.
Talk after the show.
Yeah, right. All right, people. We'll see you on Thursday. Later.
Peace.
Latest.
Deuces.